Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of Express Lane, the show that brings you speedruns in 60 minutes or less. I'm your host, Oscar424, with occasional guest appearances from Freya and Galahad, who are sleeping right now. One of these days they'll wake up, I swear. But FYI, just if you want to support GDQ Hotfix, we have a really cool Season 4 2024 shirt over at theyeti.com/GDQ. You can find that shirt and some awesome stuff about Frost Fatales, which is coming up later and I'll talk about later. But the reason I brought up the shirt is because, well, I like a good kind of stay in and chill and relax, and I like watching movies, and I like watching TV shows, and looking at the stuff, nice little 4-pack we've got going here, you might recognize some favorite movies or TV shows. We got 102 Dalmatians, Puppies to the Rescue, which is a task run. You don't want to miss that. We've got Star Wars Battlefront II, Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, and starting off is going to be Star Trek Voyager Elite Force with a GDQ rookie coming here, Bill Nye, with a run that we've never seen on GDQ either, so it's a double brand new premiere. So hello, Bill Nye, how are you?
Hey, Oscar, how's it going? I'm Bill Nye, Spiel lover, and a Star Wars and Star Trek speedrunner. We have a great run for you coming up. I also have the legendary Covert Muffin.
Hi, I'm here.
Hello.
So I haven't run this game before myself, personally, but I've been watching this run for many, many, many years, and I speedrun games that are incredibly similar to it, which are the Jedi Knight games, which people might know me for. But that being said, like, Builds is an incredible speedrunner, so you folks are in for a treat.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And just to preface this is a speed mockery by Dr. Meowington, MD. Incredible runner of this game himself.
Yeah.
And
yeah, he's amazing.
Y'all are in for a treat. So if we're about to begin. So yes. Let me
give a countdown.
Let's give a countdown. 3, 2, 1. Let's get into it.
Good luck.
Build. Okay. So to kick off this game, we're going to be seeing the camera move around, and Build is going to be jumping over and over again. This is a tech known as strafe jumping, where Build is going to be holding W plus A or W plus D while they are going to be turning the camera in their respective direction, and then repeatedly jumping over and over again when they hit the ground allows them to maintain and continue to build speed over and over again. There's going to be a lot of tricks in the run that are going to require Builds to be really particular with how he's turning his camera. But here Build is trying to do a camera glitch by crouching and then pausing the game like very, very close together. Yeah, nicely done. And that's going to allow Build to basically clip through the floor and then bypass some movement that they would have had to do otherwise. But yeah, here is going to be a really cool climb here to be able to sequence break the level yet again. And Builds is going to be trying to have really nice movement. That was a big jump, really nice. And there's another one. Build, you're absolutely killing it. You're right. Your street jumps are so good today, man.
Thank you very much. Now we're just on to Voyager now. That was a little bit of a holodeck simulation. We are in Sim Monroe, and we're based in the show of Voyager. It's non-canon, but just a little bit of side content. I believe this went on like simultaneously with Voyager itself, so very cool for like Raven Software to put out this game and get people a little more love for Voyager.
Nice.
Yeah, exactly. And so Raven Software, I believe, were also for Academy and Outcast.
Right. Yep. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So we can definitely see like a lot of inspiration between like the movement and stuff from those games, or in those games rather, because this game came out like 2 to 3 years before Outcast and Academy. But yeah, that being said, there's just going to be a bunch of like story-based triggers that Build is going to be accessing. However, in the Meow mod, there's going to be certain triggers that are actually just completely cut out. Mm-hmm. And so these would be like sections where you have to like stand in a locker room while people are just like chatting for like 30 seconds and like stuff like that. So it makes the run a lot more fast-paced. So here's going to be a really cool explosive boost. Nice, first try. Let's go. And that's all just to get a little bit of ammo while Build waits for the enemies to spawn in. And then here, the enemies are randomly going to be spawning in different sections of this room. But we think there might be some seeding involved with like how they spawn. But it's really important for Build to just like instantly kill them the moment they spawn. Otherwise, they can like run around and do some things. So Build did a great job because once again, he doesn't know the exact format or how they are going to be spawning and when they spawn. So reacting that quickly before they can move around was really good. But this is going to be like one of my favorite levels movement-wise.
Right. No,
The overall aesthetic is good. Sorry, go on.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Just the general aesthetic of this level is amazing. That's all I have to say.
It's so cool. And we have
so their build.
Yeah, go ahead.
So their build is just like activating a bunch of switches to like open doors, and there they are going to be showcasing off explosive boosting. So literally shooting explosives underneath our body and then jumping with them allows us to build an additional height. And this is something else that is different in Meow Mod versus the base game itself.
Yeah, there's a lot of areas where damage boosting really just changes the route and everything really just knocks down the time from the vanilla run.
Yeah, there's going to be some really cool sequence breaks later on by utilizing explosive boosts that would not be possible otherwise.
And this level is going to be one of them.
Yeah, I'm so hyped. Yeah, you're gonna get it first try, and I'm gonna pop off. Like I could just feel it, dude.
All right, here we go. Section's coming up.
Okay, yeah.
First
so
try.
This is
never had any doubts.
What?
Yeah, and they just like they went through the floor there, which is super good. I love it. So Build also is going to be firing their weapon at certain times to like just clear out the hallways because there are a lot of enemies in this game. But yeah, here it is. Here's the really big one. Oh, that was so close.
Oh, come on.
You got this.
Third try.
There we go.
Sorry, I missed the first two. That was totally first try.
Yeah. But yeah, so like clearing out enemies is really good. So like in Academy and Outcast, it's like less effective because enemies have like a corporeal form for half a second after they die. But in this game, it just removes their bodies immediately. So we can just continue a strafe chain through it. So you might see like Bill just like dip up his camera really quickly.
A little bit of a downtime area and maybe a little too far. Just a smidge too far, but
So I noticed if you have time for a quick question, I noticed the frames per second 125 is it, are a lot of the boosts and everything required to be at least 120, or is it, can you change the frame rate and affect things?
So 125 is a really specific number that is used in a lot of like Quake and Source speedrunning with like older games like this, just because it basically just makes the movement a bit more fluid and like it makes it like feel a lot better and also like look a bit nicer. So I don't know, Bill, do you know if it does actually like affect anything gameplay wise outside of like just the normal Quake stuff?
It affects jump height.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, that's a really common thing with like changing frame rate in games like this. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay, so I'm just zooming right now.
Yeah, so like also you're seeing a lot of really impressive movement here. Like, yeah, fitting through that tiny little doorway where you can like all of those slopes on the side you can get caught on and like walk up, and then it doesn't allow you to like sidestep easily in order to get through the door. So Build is just like nailing all of these like tempoed movement portions of just like landing where he wants to land without slowing down. It's really impressive to see.
All right. There we go.
There it is.
There you go.
Just a little funny.
Nice.
That's a very closely timed section. The door is on a timer, and if you miss it, you have to reload.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So again, the first try was very huge, especially in this kind of setting.
just a casual first try. Love it.
Yeah, no problem.
We're coming up on another damage boost. If I avoid the Mountain Dew right here.
Yep. Okay, nice. Yeah, nicely done. So something else that's really important for this run is health management. So in the bottom left corner, you'll notice the number 65, and that's how much health build has. Now it's reading 64. So basically, when you fire, the purple number is also your armor, so that'll eat some of the damage, but it's not like a lot of modern day games where you have to go through all of your armor and then it starts chunking your health. Every single explosive boost does immediately start taking away from health. So builds is like, taking some like really specific portions where they're going to refill their health on these little like kiosks that are just on the wall. And builds could be healing a lot more and a lot more portions, but just the level and the caliber of runner that build is at is that these would cost him like an additional like 1 to 2 seconds in various locations.
Oh, nice.
That one is a lot harder than he made it look, because if you like bonk your head, if you're not far enough off the ledge, then you just will end up going nowhere. So getting that first try is super hype. Nicely done, man.
What is up, George and Steve? Y'all are pretty angry at me.
Oh, George.
Okay, so I need to know this George and Steve thing.
So a little bit of lore is that George is a douchemonger. We hate George, okay? And George is going to be showing up at multiple times and ruining our fun in the run. So just remember, we don't like George here.
Okay. George is bad. Got it.
Yeah, like all these bugs and stuff in these vents. Yeah, it's George's fault.
Right. All right, we're just going through the level, and now we have to do a little bit of a undercover mission. Got to put on a disguise, so they're not like, "Oh, who are you? What are you doing here?"
Oh, it's just you, George.
Yeah, it's just,
all right.
It's just I, George, and we're Steve. And now we're picking up a very important item called the tranquilizer. It's, like I said, it's very important for the next boss fight coming up.
Okay.
Yeah, picking that up like saves like a minute.
Oh wow.
Like
or
we timed
more.
it out the other day.
Okay.
Yeah, or more. Yeah.
Also, I love the Starfleet Mirror Universe logos that I'm seeing throughout this.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yeah.
So this guy is called a Hirogen, and he's a very difficult boss fight, but we just him with the tranquilizer, just hit him a little bit with the phaser, and he just goes down.
I might be able to.
Wait, what?
This fight is a massive pain normally.
Did the boss miss the difficult boss fight section of that comment?
Just literally picking up the tranquilizer and using it in that one instance saves like over a minute. It's unreal.
Oh my god.
So basically, the brief story is that we're stuck in the middle of nowhere. You know, Voyager getting stuck in the middle of nowhere. Typical trope for them.
Yep.
And the place we were just at had some like crazy engineering stuff that we need to make the ship, you know, go. But now these angry Borg Caroso here, they took the stuff that needs to make Voyager go, so we need to get back. And they also captured our team lead called Foster. And we'll be seeing him later on.
It was George.
Yeah,
George turned over Foster to the Borg.
Right.
That makes sense. That tracks.
I also want to stress that a lot of this movement Build is doing through these hallways is actually incredibly precise and really difficult. There was an animation clip, Build just like absolutely slayed it first try, where utilizing the use function and then leaning into it allows us to shoot through the wall, opening the door from the other side.
Oh, wow.
We have to showcase the mechanics of this of the green gun as a projectile that can bounce off walls. So we have to use that functionality to move on.
Yeah, you're moving so well today, dude. This is really impressive to me.
Thank you. That's a little bit of a tricky section because I have to buffer my movements inside the cutscene. And that's just the quickest way I found to get through that section.
Yeah, so George has gone through a transformation, metamorphing into an alien, and so now all of these aliens have sworn their loyalty to him and are now coming to cause problems for us.
Yeah, species A472, the board don't like. Oh, come back!
Oh, no.
Come back here, please. I have to read this damage boost.
Nice.
No, please.
Sir!
George!
We're getting it the third time. It's all right. It's all good, guys.
George wanted a few seconds camera time.
Oh, hey, Foster, how's it going, champ? How you feeling?
Yeah, so Foster actually can gain invulnerability frames here, and so Build is just clearing out all the other Borg first, and then they're going to take down Foster. Nice, yeah.
Very nice.
Or Foster.
Or Foster. So also it's important here, we just saw our health go back up to 200. Our health doesn't actually refill and deplete like every single mission. So like Build is like health management is like so incredibly difficult, and really all these damage boosts are really precisely worked out to make use of the few free refills that we get by just like coming back to the Voyager.
We're just in a little bit of an interlude section. Just trying to get to the next area. So basically, George and Steve, they be plotting against Voyager. So we have to basically take the equivalent of a Death Star death tube and say, "Hey,
Yeah, it's the death tube.
don't do that."
Legally distinct Death Star.
Yeah, so we're gonna try and use the death tube to take out George, basically.
And
The
Steve.
wrong war theory. And Steve, yeah. Darn you, George and Steve. George
that.
put more bugs in the vents.
Rude.
Oh, I got that. Let's go.
Yo, let's go.
Wait, what?
I was able
You
to.
want to explain it, Builds?
Yeah. With the nature of the doors, the collisions are set in just a way where I can just slip through the crack of the door before it completely opens.
Oh, gotcha.
And normally with this section, we need to hit that switch right there, but no, I'm too good for that.
Wow, nicely done. First try.
So
Let's go.
smooth. Love it.
Yeah, it's like that's like a lot of the things in like these games, and so like a lot of the jumps, like Build is just getting first try and like moving through these hallways in a particular fashion, just get around enemies, and they're like crouching over that enemy in particular. So like Build is just like absolutely sculpted and refined the small, like tiny little bits of movement all over the place.
So fun fact about Elite Force 2, that game is like literally an hour and a half longer than this game.
Yeah,
Wow.
it is.
We'll do
my.
something really funny here.
Oh.
Y'all ain't ready for this.
All right. Wait, what?
All right, come on, elevator. There we go. I'm good.
Yeah, so Build was just waiting for the elevator there to make sure that they took less fall damage. That's literally it. Like, literally, once again, health management so incredibly important.
Right, because this weapon takes about 30 health, and you need that for like right there. Luckily, there's a health pack right there, and this allows to keep going. And oh my goodness, I did not expect that. But hey, we're rolling with punches. We're into this next section, and here's the only slow bit of the entire run. Literally the
dancing.
only slow bit.
Yep. The dancing robo parts.
And slow bit over. We're going back into the action.
All right.
Oh,
I gotta slam my use key. I gotta dance with these robots. Hey guys. How you doing?
excuse me.
Excuse
It's like,
me,
is there
pardon me.
room for two of us?
Nice. So something else about movement is that if you
And that-
land on a slope, it'll... Oh, go on, Build.
Now we're firing the dust tube at George and Steve.
But it didn't work, sadly.
Yeah, yep. They get kind of angry at us, but Muffin, continue what you were saying earlier.
Yeah, so when you actually land on a sloped surface, like most of the surfaces in this game are pretty flat, but if you land on a slope, it'll actually end up adding onto your horizontal vector, like either increasing or decreasing speed, unless it's like perfectly like perpendicular to the direction that you're going. So if it's a forward-facing slope boost, it'll actually give build speed. If it's a backward-facing slope boost, it'll reduce speed. Oh, that was so close. Okay, watch this. There we go.
Oh,
and it's not over yet. Yeah, and we're just going to jump directly to the end there.
Oh, that was slick.
This game's amazing. This is such a good speed game.
It's like, how long have you been running this build?
Years.
A couple years?
Just a year. The mod came out like March of last year.
Okay.
So I know Build from Jedi Knight Academy. I've like coached him a bunch in that game, and so like Build, like a lot of these skills transfer between like strafe jump based games, which is really nice.
They do much a lot.
Are there a lot of different engines that use like strafe jumping, and are there differences between those engines when you strafe jump?
Oh, 100% yes. So for instance, for Jedi Knight Academy and Jedi Knight Outcast, they have like their own custom engine that's like adapted off of Quake 3. I think it's called like no, it's not the Force engine. I forget exactly. It's like the Jedi engine or something like that.
Okay.
And this game, I'm actually not sure what engine this game runs. Yo, let's go. Nice jump, dude.
That's a very hard jump.
Yeah, so like jumps like that in particular, like it's really important that builds when trying to clear a large gap is like landing right before they start traveling over the gap, the furthest off the ledge. So watch this.
So basically, I'm just going to show. I'm taking intentional deaths here to showcase that anywhere I go down here,
there's a giant kill point.
But we get very specifically, boom.
Nice.
Whoa!
That is incredibly precise. It's literally like you get one position or it doesn't work. It's so incredibly hard. Yeah. Like I remember in practice, you died like 5 times by just being like a pixel too far to the right.
Nice.
Okay, so here's more of George's minions that are trying to get in our way.
And now we confront the man himself.
Yep.
George, what happened to you, boss man? What'd they do to you?
Yeah, so there he's hanging out behind the force field while he has one last ditch effort to take us down. And then after we clear all the minions, we're going to have to fight George himself.
What'd they do to you, big time?
Yeah, what happened, George? Oh my God, George! But yeah, so basically this is going to be the last fight. Lasts for like a couple minutes, and then once we start fighting George, we're going to kill him, and then there's going to be a couple like cutscenes that are going to happen, and then that's when time will be.
Oh, cool. It's like I heard actually something you could probably hype up while Build's working on this boss fight. I know Build got a really big accomplishment very recently.
Right.
Yes. So Build was the first person ever to get a sub 20 in this game.
Let's go.
Yeah, improving his world record. So that's like really
check it out on my YouTube.
Yup.
And we're just about to fight George. I'd be like, kick this guy right here.
Oh my God, George!
Bro, homie, what are you doing?
Oh man!
Oh, that's intentional. He gets a little phaser out for the little bit of damage.
Poor guy.
You know what? I'm not going to drop no stress. We got a little bit of time.
Yeah.
Let's throw some photons at him.
Love it.
This should be enough, so let's just...
Yeah, I think it is.
That wasn't enough.
No.
George, why?
George, why? How could you do this to me, man? Oh, let's try Phaser again. Come on. And not this time. Come on, is he down enough? Wait, my Phaser going through him? Huh. Learn something new every day.
Oh.
And there he goes.
Nice.
There's George defeated.
Rip George.
Rip George. F in chat for George.
And time.
GG's.
That was an amazing run, dude.
That
You played
was
so well.
awesome.
Yo, thank you very much.
It was a nice service.
So cool, so cool.
Couldn't have helped if you.
Looks like just over 23 minutes, which was absolutely a fantastic run, especially again, those tuning in. First time on GDQ, first time this mod has even appeared on GDQ, but more importantly, first time for Build and I appearing on the channel. So give additional GGs to Build and Covert, and both of you, where can they find you? What are you playing? Any shout outs or community love you want to give? Now is the perfect time to do so.
Yeah, definitely. You can find me on YouTube, find me on Twitch, sometimes streaming this game along with like Jedi Academy and others.
Welcome to
Things
Voyager,
you can find Covert on all his socials. I want to give special thanks to Covert Muffin. I want to give special thanks to Spear MJ for being a pioneer for the Voyager speedrunning scene. I want to give a special shout out to Dr. Millington for actually creating this mod, making it the streamlined experience it is. I was able to showcase for you today. And so, shout out to the Elite Four speedrun community. Like, check out our SRC page. Like, just throw that out real quick. Like, if y'all want to run this site, there's so many like ways to really get started with this run. And
yeah, we can get that link put in chat for you in a little bit. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, keep going with shout outs if you have any other shout outs.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
You can find me at twitch.tv/covert_muffin. I haven't really been streaming that much recently, but if I do end up streaming, I've been doing a lot of StarCraft 2 randomizers, as well as I will probably start preparing for GDQ submissions. So I'll be just streaming speedruns of whatever. Yep.
Nice. All right. Well, again, thank you so much for the tuning. That was an absolutely amazing run to watch. Give GG's one more time in chat for Build for that fantastic run, Covert Muffin for that fantastic commentary, and chat, you know what I love doing? I love finding my best friends in chat. So now is your chance to join the official GDQ Discord and add the hotfix role. You can keep up with upcoming events, talk with staff, and more. But you have to be the first person to put !Discord in that Twitch chat for more info and be my bestest friend. Y'all are my bestest friends, but this one will be like my bestest friends. But while you're doing that, sit tight, and when we come back, we are heading over to Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers. Hello again, friends, and welcome back to some more speedruns and chill on Express Lane. Now, I hope you're staying hydrated, and next time, once this run is done, you should head over to gamesdonequick.com/hotfix and check out the schedule and take a look at the in-depth look at the runs coming up, because we got some awesome things on deck soon, like the next game that we have on deck, which is this fantastic run of Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, Aragorn Easy with our good buddy Zojalix. So hello, Zoj. Welcome to Express Lane.
Hello. Thank you. Yes, I am Zojalix. You might recognize me probably running this game on Hotfix or a bunch of other games on Hotfix. Also, you might recognize me because I ran Lego The Hobbit Restricted Any % at AGDQ this last January. If you haven't watched that run, please go check it out. It was super fun to be able to show off that game with my wife for a co-op run. But I'm not alone this time. I have solo commentated this run so many times, but this time I am joined by...
Hey guys, I'm Bloody Lifetime. I'm here with Zojalix to help commentate this run on the more finer ports where he needs to focus in hard.
Yeah, so Bloody is a great community member, and we are going to start off by getting our game ready. We're going to first start off, so we're playing on the GameCube version. This is a GameCube exclusive thing, where if we go and load an already completed save file, and then save it, it will let us skip all of the FMV cutscenes in the run, saving about 2-ish minutes throughout the run. So, or not 2, like 10 minutes. It's actually like a marginal amount of time save. It's huge. So, what we're going to do is the timer will begin once I skip this intro cutscene. So if we're ready, I can go ahead and count us down, and we'll do it.
Yep, ready when you are.
Alrighty, in 3, 2, 1, go. And take it away, Bloody.
All right, so the beginning part of the game and why Zojulix is handing it off to me is because he has to do a lot of counting. So, in the beginning part of the game, you're trying to balance the experience that you want to get as well as the number of kills that you want to get in this opening prologue area. So the idea is to get the XP that we need so that we can hit our level 2 when we need to, while not over-leveling. And so what Zojulix has to do is he's going to be trying to get into perfect mode, trying to get a range of about 8 to 10 perfects. And basically to explain what perfect mode is. Perfect mode is when you use your attack combos and strings in this game to basically put you into an enhanced state. During perfect mode, you do increased damage and get increased experience. So we're going to use Isildur's Swift Judgment and get into perfect mode. And he's looking for, as I said, a range of about 8 to 10 perfects. And it will also depend on how many he needs off how many fair, good, and excellent kills he gets through this prologue as well. So right now he is having to do a lot of counting, trying to balance out the amount of XP that he gets. And, you know, you might be wondering, it's like, well, what's wrong with over-leveling? Why don't we want to get more kills? Why don't we want to get more XP? Well, the reason for that is because at the end of every level, there is basically a tally screen where it starts showing all the kills that you've gotten for that level, and it will go by, you know, incredibly slow with the more kills that you got. So each kill that you get takes more and more time. And from what it's looking like, Zojulix has wrapped up his kills on the prologue. So let's pass it back over to him and see what he's thinking.
Yeah, so I just took a little power nap there, and by I took a little power nap, I actually didn't. So yeah, this level has... This is a great time to talk about kind of the intricacies of this game. So down in the bottom left corner, you see this like damage meter that was like kind of circle around that little like gray circle. And then that little bar that goes up, that's our EXP bar. How that will work is the more damage that you do without taking damage, the more that will fill up. And then when that bar fills up, that's when we enter perfect mode. You saw it when that meter was glowing like crazy and then my sword started glowing. And when that happens, we will do the maximum amount of damage as well as get the maximum amount of experience points during the time that we are in perfect mode. And that's where getting perfect mode becomes so important because we have to balance out getting a lot of kills while also not getting a lot of kills, so that way we can get the ones that we need while in perfect mode, and then also minimizing the amount of EXP so that way we can get the level ups that we need without over leveling like Bloody explained earlier. But for a lot of this, this whole level does come down to just being an auto-scroller, which we're at the end of it now, but you can lose time by over-leveling. We need about 1,000 EXP. That's kind of like the happy zone that we're looking for. If we get a little bit more, it's not a big deal. We don't have it routed to get exactly, but being able to get about 1,000 EXP is perfect. Which, what we just got there, that's great. And now we're going to move on to Weathertop.
They seek the ring bearer. Stay close.
So in Weathertop, basically the idea is to be taking out these ring wraiths here, as right now Zojulix is kind of, you know, focusing on doing that. I can't really hear his audio, so I'm gonna, you know, kind of go over this. So basically the idea is to, you know, we talked about perfect mode, and there's perfect mode strats in this. As on the second set of ring wraiths, we're going to see Zojulix try and, you know, basically hit them enough so that he can get into perfect mode off this one ring wraith, so that he can quickly finish off the last two ring wraiths. As when you're in perfect mode, you do increased damage, making it where that these last two ring wraiths, he is able to two-shot them rather than take 3 or 4 hits in order to kill them. So as you can see here, he's able to quickly knock these out due to having that perfect mode and able to get through Weathertop really quickly.
And that level ends up being very technically challenging because of you have to time like when you get your perfect mode versus when you don't get it. You don't want to get it too early and you don't want to get it too late. So it actually ends up being quite a bit of a struggle for runs and is probably the first early reset point in this category.
Yeah, and from here, we are going to be moving on. And right now, this part is going to be a lot of movement intensive. But to start off, there's this nice little EXP box here on the left-hand side. We used to call this scrub box. And the reason for that is because for a long time, this was a box that we got if we did not get enough EXP early on, especially through prologue. And it's basically a way to get some extra EXP. Well, now because of routing and because it's a little bit faster to grab that box than it is to get more kills in the very beginning of the game, we've started routing scrub box into the actual route. And that is completely due to Zoj kind of figuring out that, that saves a couple seconds, and you can never complain about a couple seconds in a speed run. So right now, we are moving through this area, and there is a lot of problems with this area as the way that the movement of these enemies works is it's a bit random and a bit finicky. And so he has to try and move through this area to try and make it towards the end area. And he's trying to kill as few as possible. We talked about the EXP. We talked about, the in-level screen of time, and that's what we're trying to avoid here. We're just trying to make it to the end of the level and fight the boss. So now we're getting to this water area, and as you're going to start to notice, it's staying close to this edge to avoid the slowdown of the water. When he starts out into the water, you see that massive slowdown. You'll see that Zojlix will use a back step in order to move faster through it, as there is no movement speed penalty on that back step. And now we'll move on to the first, I guess you could say boss of the game, as Watcher in the water fight. Now, this fight is a bit of a pain because this is one of the few spots that we really cannot affect or change the randomness of it on how quick we can do it, as the attacks of the tentacles is completely randomized. So there's a high fluctuation on time loss or time gain based on how quickly they come out. So the idea is to parry them, slice off the tentacle so that he'll pop up and we can shoot him with an arrow. And just like that, 4 parries, 4 attacks, 4 arrows, and he is gone.
Nice.
Yeah, that's probably the first major moment that's like big RNG. Throughout this run, there's going to be a lot of small moments of RNG. When you're playing anything that is action RPG, hack and slash, it's full of small RNG that will fill you with little bits of time things that you have to think about. And so thankfully there it ended up not being a major factor. We also just picked up our first 2 abilities and upgrades in this run. That is Isildur's Swift Terror and Ranger Fury. Ranger Fury, we're not going to talk about too much right now because it's not going to be overly useful. But Isildur's Swift Terror is going to be a very big ability that we will be using throughout a good chunk of this run. So how it works is I will be hitting A, A, and Y on my GameCube controller. And as you can see, on the GameCube, with that combo, we get into perfect mode very quickly. Now, in the prologue, you saw me just spamming a lot of combos, but you're not seeing that as much as Aragorn. And the reason for that is because Isildur in the prologue doesn't have a bow. And like we had talked about before, if you are in perfect mode, you do the maximum amount of damage against enemies while also getting the most amount of EXP. So while in this level, you might think it is an auto-scroller because it is all just about fighting a bunch of enemies. But actually, this level is one of the biggest puzzles in this game because we know that it comes down to how well you're able to kill enemies, but we don't know exactly if it's tied to EXP, if it's tied to the positioning of the enemies, or if it is tied to, like, if you're fighting the shield enemies versus the unshielded enemies. We don't know. The only thing that we do know is that if we let the enemies just stay in the door the whole time, then it ends up actually being significantly slower. So you'll see me go run forward, get my perfect mode, and then I'll sit back behind around the tomb area here, so that way once enemies are inside the door, then I will shoot them with my bow to finish them off. while I'm in perfect mode. And as always, with any major crowd fighting section, enemies will get really obnoxious and come up and hit you, and so you'll see my health drain quite a bit, but thankfully we are playing on easy mode. That will help just purely with safety. We do have other subcategories for the other difficulties, but they are not the only one that really has that major difference of strats is expert. And that's just because you die so quickly and the enemies are so much tankier that we have to come up with a little bit more creative ways in order to take out enemies.
And actually, with looking at some of the other categories you run, there's also different character categories. Like you're playing Aragorn, there's Legolas, Gimli, Isildur. I've seen. Are there differences, like story-wise, or is it pretty much you could pick which character you play in each mission?
For each character, it is going to be the same. It's going to be the same story-wise. The only difference between Aragorn, Legolas, Gimli, and Isildur is Aragorn is the only character that we play the prologue and the Weathertop levels. Also, there goes that troll, and I didn't hit level 4. That's scary, but this will be fine.
You got this.
So, Aragorn starts from a new file. Legolas and Gimli, we start when we are in Gates of Moria, because that is where you have the ability to be able to select them as characters. You don't have the ability to select them as characters prior to that Gates of Moria level that we did before we came into Balin's Tomb. But now we're going to go into Amon Hen. Amon Hen is that troll died really quickly. I'll let Bloody talk about that strat because we didn't get to it in the moment while I focus on Amon Hen.
All right, so the strat that he used involved, more perfect mode strats. And the idea behind it is you want to get into perfect mode as soon as that fight starts with the troll, as it enters into that second phase. And basically the idea is you get into perfect mode, you shoot with 2 charged arrows and 1 light arrow, and it will kill it instantly. And that is such a massive benefit because if you do not get into perfect mode and then hit that, you lose a significant amount EXP. And we're actually encountering one of the first problems that Zojulix is going to have in this run. So the reason that perfect mode is so important is because you want level 4 as you enter into Amon Hen here. And the reason for that is you get several upgrades, including a bow upgrade and your rising attack and a few other things as well. And it makes this level significantly easier. Now, the main thing is that bow upgrade, it will make the difference between it taking 2 shots and 1 shot to kill these Urukai with the bow. Although you'll see sometimes they will still go down if we get a little bit lucky. But it's one of those situations where it is going to make things a little bit more tedious for Zojulix here as he moves through Amon Hen, and that level can be a big problem. And honestly, when you're doing this run, that is a huge reset point. It makes it where it is very difficult to do this level without hitting level 4. Yet Zojulix, with the experience, having done this run so many times, making it look easy, honestly pushing through as we'll get to the fire, and you just run right through the fire, no problem. We're already down to 33 of the Urukai here. So in Amon Hen, your main thing is you see the number up in the top right. It says 33 right now. You have to kill 65 Urukai through the course of this level in order to actually get into the alerts fight at the end of this level. So you're constantly moving through this level, trying to get as many kills as you can and push through this level quickly. And when you don't have your upgrades, when you don't have things that you need for this, it does take more time. However, Zojulix, even getting with the knockdown, was able to pick up the rising attack, which makes it where when you come off the ground, it will knock back enemies so that you actually have a chance to get off the ground and they don't just have this ability to stun lock you on the ground. He's going to need a few more kills here, and due to those upgrades and just everything else, and so many of them grouping up, struggling a little bit, but able to push through, get into this perfect mode, snipe out those archers, and you'll notice, there's a few times here where he's having you take 2 arrows, and that is the pain that is not hitting level 4. It really slows down this area a lot and makes such a, you're going to lose anywhere from 10 to 30 seconds if you are not, right on top of it. So here on the bridge, he is going to use his Ranger Furies to quickly wipe out the Urukai charging at him, as well as just a happenstance of getting into perfect mode to take them out faster. And now Zojulix is going to be moving on to this Lurtz fight. And this is going to be the main boss here for Amon Hen. And this boss fight is going to require his, 100% focus, as the strategy for this is very, very, very tight and very easy to mess up. So what he's going to do is he's going to shoot him 4 times to trigger the next stage. Well, 6 times because he doesn't have his bow upgrade. So what he's going to do is he's going to try and lure Lurtz over to one of the sides, try and get them to hit this statue so that he'll be staggered. You perform a Silver Swift Terror, get into perfect mode, and the idea there is to Ranger's Fury the exact second that he comes, you finish that Swift Terror before he comes off the statue, and you can insta-kill him. However, Zojulix did not get the strat, but was able to get the backup strat while in perfect mode, making it where he was not able to lose much time, only losing a few seconds, rather potentially losing up to a minute on that area when that goes bad.
That was probably the wildest backup I think I have ever done there. That was something else.
It worked. Looked good.
Hey, it's one of those things where I'm like, it wasn't pretty, but it got the job done, and that's what matters. And that is one of those strats. It's been around since about 2019. It was discovered by a former runner named 7 Swag Muffin 7, and it was one that for a while was like, I didn't do it in runs for a long time because I did not find it to be. It was really difficult, and it still is very difficult, as was just now showcased. But it's gotten to a point now where the world record for this run is 47 minutes and 57 seconds. And so we kind of like go for a lot of just these crazy strats, just trying to do everything that we can to try and save as much time as possible. And unless somebody is able to come up with some like crazy new skip or something, we're pretty much fighting the RNG of the game at this point. But please, somebody, if you're a glitch hunter or you like strat finding, come join us. We want to keep pushing this game down. I love this game, and I really want to keep doing more awesome things with this game, but I don't want to fight RNG. So come join us. We have a Discord.
And actually, quick question about the level, because I know it was such a big issue in the previous level. Is that going to affect you throughout the run moving forward, or is it eventually going to neutral out so where you're not having to come up with backups because of level differences?
At this point, now that we have hit level 4, we're fine on EXP. I might be a little bit behind going into the next level, but it doesn't change any of the strats that I use. So It really only becomes a big deal in Amon Hen because we don't have the ability to one-shot enemies in perfect mode.
Gotcha.
That's where the big thing comes in. And if you're a newer runner, you might feel it a little bit more because you have the ability to purchase another health upgrade, but because of just how far that I have come in terms of my abilities to run this game, I only get the first one. You theoretically could probably go without the first one, but that's just a level of riskiness that none of us are ready for.
Fair.
Because not only does that little extra sliver of health that we have down at the bottom, not only is that just a tiny little extra sliver of health, but it also gives us an additional level of defense. And so that little sliver of health drains significantly slower than the rest of our health does. So it's nice to be able to have that to lean on for when, especially when we get to some of these later levels, when the enemy hordes will only get crazier and crazier.
And also to answer your question, I know you asked about the level and the backup there. So the backup on Lurtz was due to Zojulix slightly mistiming the Ranger's Fury off of the after getting into perfect mode rather than a lack of level. And that was a good adjustment by him to be able to still get that kill on Lurtz while in perfect mode. And we've been going through Fangorn Forest, and we haven't been talking much about it. But basically, this area you are dealing with trolls and you're trying to knock them out very, very quickly. There's even a strat that, I was actually the one that discovered, which was, hitting them 5 times with the uppercut and then Rangers Furying them to be able to take them out a little bit faster. And Zojulix getting into perfect mode, using that perfect mode to kill the second troll there faster than normal, making it where he only has to hit with 1 Ranger's Fury as opposed to 2. There's a lot of strats in that area we kind of have to gloss over because we just weren't able to talk about them. And to talk about them in hindsight is going to be a bit difficult, but Zojulix able to move through it, able to get through the level pretty well.
Yeah, that was really good. Also, that first troll that went up into that weird cave area, that has never happened before. I've never seen the troll go up there. That was that far up. I've seen them push up on me before, but never so much that I'm pushing them back into that little cave. So there's your "that's never happened before" moment in this in this marathon style run. So this is Plains of Rohan. Now, Plains of Rohan is an interesting level because it will introduce a gimmick where there are going to be these, up in the top right corner of the screen, you will see this additional health meter. What that health meter is are these villagers that we have to protect. And apparently they're going to keep yelling, "Spare me," so they have really something going on here. But if that meter drains all the way, we are going to be failing the level. And so what we have to do, Gandalf, you're gonna, thanks buddy, took you a little bit there. But what we have to do is we are going to have to go through the entirety of this level so fast before the villagers dying becomes an issue. In earlier parts of this run, we used to actually take the time to kill certain enemies, to take fights for extra safety, but thankfully, or maybe not so thankfully, it depends on your interpretation of how we have developed in this run, we're able to just sprint through it a lot faster without having to worry too much about it. We just have to make sure that the fights that we do take, that we are required to take, we get through them very quickly.
Yeah, so
Ouch.
A lot of stuff in this area, as he's saying, you try and fight a lot of the enemies, try and make sure that all the people are safe, but Zoj able to just speed through this and kind of, as long as that health bar for them doesn't hit 0, he's doing well and he can make it through this level. And you'll see that coming up, he's able to actually get into perfect mode and kill everything there very, very quickly, faster than normal, honestly.
That was an incredible fight.
Very nice. Very nice.
And this final fight of this area, you'll see that the Urukai are about to throw this couple into a burning building, and it will give us a second set of health bars. So not only do we still have to worry about the first one, but if we don't save them fast enough, we will also still lose the level.
Yeah, so there's kind of a couple ways that some runners will tackle this. Sometimes runners will go and they will rescue the people first, and then fight off all the enemies. Since I don't have to worry, since I've gotten pretty familiar with being able to take out the enemies quickly, I have been opting to fight them quickly first because for some really weird reason in this game, the level will just end faster if you take the enemies out before rescuing these villagers. I don't know why. We don't really understand it, but I think it's because the game runs a check to see that all of the enemies have despawned before it ends the level. So if you save the people first, then you basically have to wait for that check the entire time. Also, there's all the EXP that we were missing.
Ah, gotcha.
We go up 2 levels, we're good. We actually only have to be level 8 by the time we get to the final levels in the run, which we will get not at the end of this level, but the next level. So this level is Westfold, and this is where things literally become explosive.
Yeah, that's quite the understatement there, Zojalik. So on Westfold, Zojalik is going to have to focus due to the high explosiveness of this area, as we can already see in this cutscene. So this entire area, you're having to deal with explosive barrels, enemies constantly coming after you, and sappers. So sappers are a new type of enemy. They're basically carrying explosive barrels on their back. So he will have to be navigating through these as he pushes through this level, going to be using the explosive barrels and even some of the sappers to his advantage where he can to clear out his path. As he's going to round this corner up here, you will see the first set of sappers, and luckily they are able to be taken out with bow shots. However, they will chunk Zojalik if he gets hit by them, and can almost completely take him out if he does get trapped on them. However, we do have a few tricks in our bag of tricks to get around that. One of them is our Ranger's Fury. In a worst case scenario, if you cannot escape it, a charged up Ranger's Fury, when you swing it, will give you iframes and make you completely immune to the explosion. So this level is pretty much just completely just moving through this level as fast as possible, just trying to avoid these sappers, avoid the enemies, because there isn't really anything that we have to kill or take out through the first parts of this level. So you'll see
a little scary there with my health, but we're good. Yeah. Thankfully, one of those enemies dropped a health potion. There was a safety potion there that I could have grabbed if I did need it, but thankfully didn't have to worry about it too much, and it was able... The enemy dropped one, so I was able to take my normal path and be fine.
Yeah. And so this last little area, he does have to destroy one thing. There's a cart behind all those guys on the other side of this lake that we need to destroy. The safe strat is to run along this and backwards dash along this right side edge and just completely use it and push all the way up past these archers just to shoot it and not have to worry about them. And there is a riskier strategy that you can do to not have to go as far and shoot it, but we like to go for the safe strategies as is more consistently safe.
Yeah, you can technically shoot the barrel from the little ledge that we were on the right side where the game let us run, but in order to do that, you have to hold this like really nasty angle. And I don't know if you're familiar with GameCube controllers, but really nasty angles are only nice if that nasty angle happens to be in the notches. And and for that trick, those that angle is not in the notches. So we are now actually going into not the shortest level. The shortest level in the run is Weathertop, but we are now going into the second shortest level in the run, Gap of Rohan. And Gap of Rohan is going to consist of two fights. First one is going to be these two wargs here that are going to rush us. They're going to be like, yo, we don't like you. And we're going to say, okay, well, how about you sit down and take them out really quickly. And that ends that. And then we're going to go into our Sharku fight, which is the boss of this level.
Make them fear the wolves of Isengard.
I'm hoping you'll explain this, Bloody.
All right, I'll take over. So, one of these strats that I was able to find and that Zojalik is not going to be able to pull off here would be to get into perfect mode off of those first two so that you can shoot these other two guys quickly while in perfect mode in order to get to the Sharku fight faster. So Sharku, we're going to let him run us over twice, and then he's going to go stand in his position over here on the right side. As soon as he goes to rear up, we shoot him, we step to the side, we Ranger's Fury, and he is instantly killed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it is a super cool fight, and that was even the bad RNG version of the fight. When I was going for the regular strat, one of the side wargs shot at me, and because he did that, that then caused me to not be able to get into perfect mode because I had to parry that arrow. So that was really unfortunate, but it is what it is. It's kind of normal for this run. For, like I said, there's small bits of RNG all throughout this run. And so you kind of get to a point where you're just like, that was unfortunate, but you're used to it. So Oddly enough, we are only 30 minutes into the run, and you're probably like, wow, this is going really fast. We only have 3 levels left in this run, which you're probably like, why the heck are there only 3 levels left in this run when there's still 25 minutes left until estimate? Well, that's because these 3 levels are all the longest levels in the run. This level is my least favorite, and that is because it is an 8.5-minute auto-scroller. We will be spending 8 minutes running around and kicking down ladders, and this is where I make a call for all glitch hunters. We have discovered this weird glitch. It was accidentally discovered in 2019, where sometimes certain levels will just not load right in your game. And if the levels don't load right, the game just skips to the end of the level. I figured that out when I was doing attempts. I started a run, and I just skipped the prologue right away. And I said, heck it, we're going to finish this run, and we're going to see what happens. That run was quickly invalidated because we couldn't figure out a way to consistently replicate it. But even still, the time that I got then has been beat without that glitch. So that also gives you an idea as to how far this run has progressed. And so the only reason I want that level deload glitch to be found is so that way we can skip this. As the moderator of the leaderboard, I would say if we can find the level deload glitch and make it consistent, the only way that it will be used is to skip this, so that way so that way we can just get rid of this auto scroller. Because it's a big pace halter. You go and you fly through all these other levels and then you get here. It's a bummer, but also at the same time, it's kind of nice too, because this is a moment that if I'm doing serious PB attempts, whenever I get here, I actually have a playlist of fun inside joke memes, meme songs from my community that I will play during this time, and it actually will help me to relax because the last 2 levels require a lot of focus as well.
Love it.
So yeah, it's wonderful. This is also the great time where I will say, hey, come run my speed game. I love this game. I've been running this game since 2018. I don't know how, but I managed to rope Bloody into running this game for a brief period of time. And we used to do races actually really consistently. And I would love to get back into community races once. I would love to be able to get back into doing that. So if you enjoy racing speed games, come run this game. It is a fantastic run to pick up and race. We also had, I don't remember if it was last September. It wasn't last September, but the September before. We, on GDQ, did one marathon to run them all to celebrate Hobbit Day in September. And we had a 3-way race with the top 3 runners of the game, and it was phenomenal. So if you want to watch a race of this game by the top 3 runners, go check out that VOD as well. Also, just go check out one marathon to run them all on the GDQ's YouTube. It was a fantastic event, and I loved being able to be a part of that.
Yeah, seriously, just on top of that, any of the GDQ VODs, Hotfix, One Marathon to Rule Them All, Back to Black, even the English broadcast of Speedruns 5, which Zoj was a commentator for.
Yes.
Head over to youtube.com/gamesdonequick. You can find all of those VODs in the search function, and there are some amazing runs that are on there. And I remember that marathon. That was awesome to watch.
Speedruns was a phenomenal marathon, and I loved being able to be a part of it and comment. I got to commentate Marvel's Spider-Man Remastered, which is another game very near and dear to my heart. I have run the absolute heck out of that game, and I love it to death. It is one of my favorite speed games, and being able to commentate that my favorite of the DLC categories for that game was so cool. And Speedruns just made it an absolute pleasure, and it was an absolute joy of a run. So I do highly recommend going and checking that run out, and just giving all the love to Blue, who was the runner for that, because that was an incredible run. It was super fun.
Yeah.
This is also a great time, normally too, where I do like to do a lot of my community shout outs. So because then we can just, have them done, and we can keep going with the with the rest of the hotfix, because I know you guys are also really excited to watch the next run, Star Wars Battlefront 2. That is actually a game that I also have ran. I'm not good at it in any capacity, hence why I am not commentating that run. But the community is also another one that is very, very near and dear to my heart. The Battlefront 2 speedrunning community is phenomenal, so please do stick around for that run. It is going to be a great time. Starfy is an incredible runner, and it's going to be a great time. So huge shout outs to them coming up right next, but also shout outs to the rest of the Lord of the Rings speedrunning community. Bloody, thank you for joining me on commentary. I'm going to shout out mainly two Towers runners right now, but I got to give all the love to my two main rivals in this game, and that was Ryland Hand, who hasn't run this game too much, and then also I want to give a lot of love to 7 Swagmuffin 7. When I started running this game, the world record was 52 minutes and 56 seconds by 7 Swagmuffin 7, and I made it a point. It was my goal. It was to get world record in this game was the first world record that I really felt like I had to put in like a true grind for. And on the day that it actually happened, I was really bored one day, and I messaged Swagmuffin and said, "Hey, I know we've never talked in Discord before, but you want to race?" And he said, "Okay, sure." So I raced him, and I ended up getting world record in that race, and it was an incredible moment. And so I always give love to 7 Swagmuffin 7 just for the friend that he is and the incredible rivalry that we have had throughout this game. And catapults. Oh, that was scary.
Be careful. So
catapults will two-shot you.
Yes. So as y'all can see here, as we enter the second phase of the wall, the only thing that changes is there's going to be a lot more enemies, and these catapults start firing. Realistically, the only thing that Zojulix has to worry about here is his meter on the top right corner, which as long as he's kicking the ladders properly, it should never cap out and fail him the level. However, there is always the small chance that the elves do not do their job, and it does, can happen. The other thing that he has to worry about is these catapults. As he said, these catapults can two-shot you, meaning if you start getting comboed by the Urukai like he is right now, and a catapult hits you, you can lose, die, and you have to start this 8.5-minute ladder kicking simulator all over again.
Woo! Yeah. And it's rough. It is very brutal. Especially on running expert mode, you lose a lot of runs to this level, which is really sad to think about. That most of this is an auto scroller, but it's really easy to it's really easy to not be paying attention and get killed by the catapults. But thankfully, we got through. Nothing to worry about. Aragorn's going to take this really epic hero pose before we move on to the next level, Breached Wall. Breached Wall is another one of those levels that if you're not careful, it can very much be a run killer. Because of the way that the level works. We're going to be fighting endless hordes of enemies, and these endless hordes of enemies are going to make it feel like an auto-scroller, but I will guarantee you it is not. And as we go through and fight the various enemies, you will see it and you'll understand kind of the complications of this level. I'll be focusing for the most part while Bloody kind of talks about each of the individual waves and the strats that I will be using to get through them. But basically, there's a door we have to protect, and so we are going to do the thing that Aragorn does, which is rush forward on the front lines against thousands of enemies that could just flood through this wall, but they're going to come in small groups because I guess they care about Aragorn in some capacity, and so it will allow Aragorn to give this heroic stand and make himself look even cooler than he already is.
So, basically, this level is all about mob management and how quickly we can kill them. They are constantly going to be coming through this area, and Zojulix says endless hordes. They are not endless. It does not go on forever. However, there is a lot of them, and basically you do have to wait for them to spawn. And right now he is using the sappers for when they spawn to blow up other sappers spawning behind them, as well as any other troops that are spawning with them. Now he's going to use his Ranger's Fury to try and hit as many of them as possible. But, And with that is you able to use Isildur's judgment to get into perfect mode and take care of them really quickly. And you'll see, like, now that he's taking out that wave, the next wave is already starting to spawn. And that's the thing about this level, is the faster you clear out the waves, the faster the enemies will spawn, the faster that you can get through this level. So if you're, letting them get all the way back here to the door and you're having to chase them down, you're going to be losing time because the next wave is not going to be spawning quite yet. So you're going to have
this strange wave.
Oh, what?
That was just strange. The enemies were just behaving strangely, but it's fine.
So he's going to be trying to use the sappers to get kills. Now, you might be wondering, besides just the speed of sappers, what other benefit do they have? Well, if we kill a sapper and it kills an enemy, we only get credited with the kill of the sapper. Meaning that at the end screen of this level where it counts our kills, it doesn't count the extra enemies killed from the explosion of those sappers. Meaning that we get increased time save there as well. So that is one of the... Oh, go ahead.
It's really important that we are able to maximize the use of the sappers. We also kind of have to be at least a little bit careful because the sappers do a pretty significant amount of damage against the door. So we want to try and balance not just utilizing them, but also we don't want to just let them run at the door a bunch. And also they can do a lot of damage to us if we aren't careful. So we have to, there's a lot of micromanaging, not just of enemies, but of arrow counts, and mostly of enemies is where kind of the big sets of micromanagement comes. This is a little scary, but thankfully I can abuse some iframes from my get up animation there, and then I can just go through and take these guys out with some charge shots. And I'm gonna pop those guys, and they're gonna spawn some red health, which will be good to get us back up to the health that we need. Because sometimes, your health can be a little scary in situations. Even though we are on easy mode, there is a risk of death. I don't think there is a single category. I think the only category that we really don't worry about dying on is Isildur, because Isildur is essentially a New Game Plus version of this run. You run with him fully upgraded, and for some reason, too, Isildur has additional health, does additional damage. The only thing that he doesn't have is the arrows that Legolas has, which would be really weird if he did. But he is actually, in my opinion, if you're interested in running this game, Isildur is the best option for a first-time runner because you don't have to worry too much about dying. You can just get used to how the game feels, and then once you've got a good feeling for how the run works, then you're good to pick up some of the other more difficult categories. And Isildur plays just like Aragorn, so if you get a familiarity with Isildur's mechanics, then you're ready to run Aragorn. The only major differences you might have to think about are things like menuing after levels and the Lurtz fight.
And who would you say is the hardest character to learn?
I would say the hardest character to learn is Gimli. And the only reason I say that is because the developers, I feel kind of forgot about Gimli. So Gimli, his strats are really self-explanatory in that we actually get the least amount of upgrades with Gimli, because Gimli's Fierce Attack, which is hitting Y on our GameCube controller, are so strong that even without a lot of upgrades, still do a ton of damage. The big difference with Gimli that makes him such a difficult run is his hitboxes don't really make sense. They never have. And when your hitboxes don't make sense, it becomes very difficult to speedrun him optimally. So even though Gimli doesn't have the first 2 levels like Aragorn has, he's still the slowest character out of all 4 of them.
Gotcha.
So we're going to take out this troll. Oh, go ahead. I'll let you explain this.
Yeah,
because I'm going to focus for this catapult section.
Yes, you will. So right now what Surgix is trying to do is to save this sapper because it will transition through this cutscene with him. He's going to try and do this in order to have it as a target to try and take out enemies for this catapult fight. So right now, Zojulix is going to try and have to take out this catapult, and there is a nice little swarm of Urukai protecting it. So if he can keep that sapper there, he would be able to, if keep it up towards the front, he is able to keep it there and explode as many as possible. So he has to come up here, and he is going to use his, try and get into perfect mode so that a Ranger's Fury is able to take out 2 segments of the 3 segments on the catapult in one hit. So you come to this corner, you swing, and you can take out 2 of the segments. The only thing he has to worry about is that fire on the ground, and can he get it? He was not able to get in perfect mode. Is going to have to either regain perfect mode or just keep smacking it, as wasn't able to get the strategy of one-hitting all of it, just the enemies being a little bit too annoying there, as well as those pits of fire. There is a chance that you get invisible fire there, and it can almost insta-kill you. So that is the one extremely dangerous thing in that fight.
Yeah, so the invisible fire is a weird visual glitch where the fire will still do damage, but you won't see it. And it's very easy that if you aren't paying attention that you can just get completely stuck, and then you're just at the mercy of whether or not you might get out. So this is why we try and get as few enemies as possible. With most of the levels, you saw a quick end result screen. With this level, it's not the case. Because we take out over 100 enemies in this level, it is a very long end tally screen. But with all of that being said, we are now going to be jumping into the final level in the run, which is, I almost said Minas Tirith, but it is not Minas Tirith. It is Helm's Deep Hornburg Courtyard. So we have fallen back. Our defenses are completely overrun by the hordes of enemies, and what better way to end off a very crazy and hectic speedrun with chaos ensued. Enemies are going to be constantly spawning throughout this level. There is going to be a virtually no end. Well, actually, in this, there is no end to the enemies. They do just constantly spawn. But what we have to do is we have to kill enough enemies to activate specific triggers. And so we will be doing that by spamming our Isildur's Judgment that we picked up again way back when we fought those wargs about 20 minutes ago. And then we picked that up when we hit level 8, so that way we can get into perfect mode quickly and take out more enemies. Another thing that we will also be utilizing is the strength of our perfect mode bow. Sometimes, though, these shield enemies' hitboxes don't like us, and then we just kind of have to still use Judgment. So for most of this level, we will actually be spamming that Isildur's Judgment. So this is another one of those. I have had multiple runs, even like within the last couple of years. So where I have been on PB/world record pace going into this level, and then just the natural state of the RNG of this level will kill the run. You know, in this run, my PB is 47 minutes and 57 seconds. I have not managed to beat that PB in 2 years, even while still being relatively active in this game. Like, pretty much if there's a marathon, I'll submit this game. I love this game so much, and I always want to show off how this game, show off this speedrun. I'm going to play this a little bit differently than I normally do, just so that way I can show off this cutscene skip. So we're just going to let Legolas fight that last guy. Don't worry, it's totally normal. What we're actually doing is we're setting up so that way, hopefully, Legolas will kill him before I get all the way back down, and I guess that's not going to be the case. So we're going to come over to this specific spot here. We're going to stand on this guard's body. I promise this is very necessary, so that way we can fire an arrow up. Okay, or maybe we won't get the opportunity to fire the arrow up because he's not in a... Oh, this Uruk-hai is not in a good position. Okay, this is... Oh, there we go. Okay, he died. We're good. We're fine. Everything is fine. So, Yeah, go ahead.
So to kind of explain what Zojalix was trying to do there. So basically there is a cutscene that triggers if you kill all 3 of those enemies around Legolas and then try and come back down. It'll be a cutscene with Gimli. It takes about 30 seconds. However, if we can kill 2 of them and leave the captain for Legolas and he is able to kill it after we get past the load zone for that cutscene, we can do, as you can see, a cutscene skip. However, Legolas took his sweet time getting the kill, and so took us a little bit while longer than he really wanted. Now you'll hear Legolas yell, "Archers on the wall!" This is our next trigger that, hey, there's archers on the wall. We have to run up here and take care of them. We're waiting for Gimli to yell, "Aragorn," for us to be able to come back down. Now you'll have the bigger and badder enemies spawning, as now you will have berserkers spawning. Our goal here is to kill the berserkers specifically, as they're what kind of speeds along Hornboard Courtyard for this final part. And once we kill enough berserkers, trolls will spawn, and basically the trolls will try and take out the last little bit of health on the gate. However, when we kill the 2 trolls, when those are dead, that is when time in the run will be, as it will basically, they will die and it'll immediately start to cut to a cutscene, and that's when time in the run will be. So we have just these 2 trolls that we have left to take care of, and Zojalix is done. And he's able to stay in perfect mode to have that Ranger's Fury be able to take out one quickly, but with 2 more Ranger's Furies and time.
GG's.
Yeah, so that was Lord of the Rings 2 Towers. That was a good example of a run where a lot of weird stuff can happen. That one was, it was a good run. I won't complain. Still within like 3 minutes of my PB, so I can't complain too much. I won't complain at all about honestly being in that area for a marathon run. But yeah, this is my baby speed game. You look at anything, you look at speedrun.com, you'll see that if there's any game that I've fought tooth and nail on, it is this one. I love this game so much, and it's why I've shown it off so many times at Hotfix, and I'm going to continue. This is me being on Hotfix with this game so many times is just continued propaganda for me to run this on the main stage. There have been so many times I have submitted this, and I'm just waiting for that one opportunity where I can run this on the GDQ main stage. I really, really want to do that. And so that's kind of like my big dream there. But thank you again, Asuka, for letting me being able to show off this run. Thank you, Bloody, for commentary. This was super fun. I love this game. Come run this game. It's super easy to get into. I've made 1,000 tutorials. So please do come join us and join our wonderful, tiny but mighty community.
And GG's again. And I know there was a shout out in chat and you had your quick shouts for. Just remind everybody one more time, both of you, where can they find you and if you're playing something specific right now?
Yeah, so right now I am currently in a funky, I'm calling it funky because it's not like your average thing, but I'm in a Lord of the Rings themed subathon right now where I'm currently playing through every single Lord of the Rings game, including like the text-based ones from the 80s. Those are really hard. But that's what I am currently doing right now, while I'm also working on some, going to start getting ready for some SGDQ submissions here soon. Two Towers is going to be one of them. And I'm also planning on submitting Return of the King and some Marvel's Spider-Man. I have some ideas for categories for those. So I do a lot of speedrunning. I also dive into a lot of MMO content, or at least I'm getting into that right now. So if you want to come do MMO stuff with me, then, or watch me speedrun / play Lord of the Rings and Spider-Man games, come join. It'll be a great time.
Yeah. And Bloody, what about you?
I think he...
That's all right. Do you have Bloody's Twitch channel?
Yeah.
YouTube channel?
Yeah, so it looks like he just put in chat that his power went out. Yeah, so Bloody, he doesn't speedrun too much anymore, but he did run a lot of Shadow of Mordor. he still is one of the best runners of that game. He streams kind of whenever he wants to, just kind of, he plays a lot of Marvel Rivals. I also know that he does some Hearthstone stuff, some Magic the Gathering. So if you like trading card game stuff, definitely go follow Bloody Lifetime. And then we also do, on occasion, we are a co-op, two parts of a co-op trio for Lord of the Rings War in the North co-op speedruns. So if you want to watch those, maybe we will get the squad back together for that. But definitely go ahead and give Bloody Lifetime a follow on Twitch. He has been a good friend of mine for 5-6 years now, and I am very thankful that he was able to be here with me to help show this game off.
Yeah, again, thank you both so much. That was so cool to watch. Zoj is a master, like a connoisseur of the series as a whole. So definitely check out the VODs. We mentioned it earlier. Check out just Zoj's Twitch channel. Thank you so much again, both of you. GG's one more time in chat. Before I send it off to another hydration break, I need a request for a second bestest friend. So pay attention really quickly. And you should be checking out at the end of the month, which is March 29th and 30th, we are going to have GDQ's International Transgender Day of Visibility Celebration. And it's going to be a weekend that highlights transgender speedrunners. Welcome back, friends, for the second half of our Speedruns and Chill episode of Express Lane. And we're just going to look at the next run, and it is a banger, let me tell you. We are going into Star Wars Battlefront II, Rise of the Empire, all missions, which we'll find out a little bit about what all that means. And it's going to be run by Starfy. So Starfy, take it away and welcome.
Hi, I'm Starfy. I'm a VTuber. I stream this game a lot. I speedrun this game a lot. And I started speedrunning this game about a year ago, actually. This is almost my anniversary of running this game. Close to that, I just realized. And speedrunning this game's kind of like helped me grow a lot of my confidence. And I got to meet some really cool people. Some of those are here today with commentating for me. And I'm excited to show off this game. A lot's happened to this game in the last, just last few months alone. And I'm really excited to show off all the movement tech, all the cool tricks we've found, and just execution. And I'd like to introduce my commentary. Sarcasmus.
Thank you very much, Starfy. Hello there, my name is Kazumas, also known as Kazuma Speedruns, and this will be, Star Wars Battlefront 2. This, for what it's worth, is the original classic 2005 version of Star Wars Battlefront 2. This is not the classic collection that came out last year, and is not the 2017 EA game. This is the original Pandemic Studios version of Star Wars Battlefront 2. And in this version, in this particular run, we'll be looking at all missions, which means that we'll be playing through all the grand missions and all the space missions. And we'll be doing so on a profile that has all the bonuses unlocked. So we'll be seeing things like the remote rockets, we'll be seeing things like the precision pistol, in order to make things a lot faster. We'll have some little buffs as well, like improved energy and defense increase. And that's basically the gist of the run. Also joining me alongside me is Captain Emu.
Hello, I'm Captain Emu. I'm a veteran of the speedrun. I have been playing this game, speedrun this game for I think around 5 years now. And so I'm kind of old now and don't speedrun as much, but I'm excited to commentate on this run.
The features now. Oh, man. You made that comment, I had to slip that in. Okay. Whenever we're ready, I think we're ready to go.
Just give the countdown and we are all set.
All right, timer starts as soon as the cutscene for the 501st Journal pops up after the loading screen. So I count down from attack. 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck.
Good luck, Starfy.
All right. All right, here we're gonna be seeing a remote rocket strat here. So remote rockets are counted as vehicles in a sense to the game. And so it counts as, because their camera's following the rocket, it counts as the player. So we can use that to trigger the CP spawn early and this respawn up here. They're way ahead than we usually do. I'm going to be going for a quick kill on these 2 turrets here. I have to pay attention if this turret starts moving. I could end up missing my rocket. And we're going to be using tech called instant swap, instant reload with class swaps. You'll see it in a second. In the first person.
It looks like it's in a good position. There we go. Lovely.
There we go.
Nice.
And yeah, that grenade right there will have immediately exploded that little shield generator, and now we can move straight onto this command post. So yeah, this is a really good start going forward. But yeah, throughout the run, we'll be seeing multiple different types of infinite sprint. So there's basically 3 types. There's going to be the Jedi one, the Jedi variant. There's also going to be a frame perfect variant that occurs when you are sprinting on flat ground. And we're also going to be seeing an infinite sprint that occurs when you are falling from an elevated height. So as you can see, Starfy is going to do an infinite sprint here. So yeah, there we go. So by performing a block on her lightsaber, that sort of starts what's called an infinite block. But then by putting a roll on top of that, she's then able to put a roll on that, and therefore that like induces an infinite sprint for Jedi. So there we are. That's the end of my Gita right there. Lovely.
Yeah, but she was actually using a more difficult technique called infinite sprint jump, where you basically can jump infinitely. It's pretty precise.
Lovely. And now this is the first space mission. This is the first of 4 that we'll be seeing throughout this run. So the idea of the space missions, certainly this space mission, is that we're sort of in a position to do some of the objectives out of order before they even start. So yeah, first of all, we're going to be just trying to remember. We need to be going inside and just destroy a few of these starfighters. But what we can also do is actually take one of these starfighters and then perform what we call a ship clip. So we're going to see that executed here. So let's just give it a moment. See the moment happen. Lovely. So as you can see, what's happened there is that there's certain pieces of the collision missing on part of the capital ships, and it means that we're able to exploit those and actually clip inside the ship. And I'm sure for anyone who's seen episode 1 of Star Wars will know exactly what this means, as we can now destroy the internals with our ship without having to pop inside and deploy time bombs ourselves, and also take out some of those ships in the hangar. Now, interestingly, when we're destroying those fighters, they don't necessarily need to be flying around. They can just be the empty shell vehicles themselves. So as long as we're shooting something that resembles the actual vehicles that we need to be killing, then that seems to count. So now we're moving straight on to... So we've already skipped an objective to actually... I think it was to... it was already to deal with the frigate, I think. So now we're in a position to already destroy the bridge, whilst we actually have the objective specifically for destroying the communications array. Now, it's usually a good idea to deal with the targeting bridge first, because allies can actually help deal with the comms array first.
It's actually one of the few objectives the allies can do completely alone, if you're lucky.
Uh-oh. Oh, no. Game? Can I land? Game? Thank you.
Video game, please.
There we go.
Yeah, that happens sometimes. They're chilling. They're inside of each other. It's fine. They look happy.
Holding hands. Lily.
Wait, what? Did something not true?
Yeah, you didn't destroy the engines.
Did you get the engines? Hang on.
No, she didn't.
Did I not?
No, you didn't.
Wait, really?
So all the more reason to show off another ship clip. So
You forgot to shoot the last piece of... The last...
Oh, there was like a tiny sliver of health. Oh, that's
That happens
infuriating.
sometimes.
Okay. Then if you land in the hangar, we should be able to land on the roof. Brilliant. There we go.
That happens sometimes.
Yeah, because
A little
face
trolly.
doesn't actually
I didn't
kill
realize
you,
what happened.
Guys.
That's weird. I felt like I should have killed it, but that's fine. We're fine.
Well, we're here now. That's the main thing. So, moving on to Felucia. This is a pretty decent spawn. So in order to deal with a number of accolades, what we're going to do is we're going to pre-place a few mines. These are going to deal with some accolades that are going to spawn towards the west side of the map. Here are the accolades here. So there's one, there's two. That third one should already be gone. Yeah. And the key to this is, well, first of all, we want to use mines as much as possible. But key to killing an accolade very, very quickly is to aim for its front right leg. So when you're face to face with it, it'll be on your left. This is in reference to episode 2 because that is the leg that Obi-Wan chops off of the accolade in the Geonosis Coliseum in episode 2.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's a very nice little Easter egg there. It's very on point for Star Wars, basically to say, hey, you know that spot Obi-Wan chopped off on that accolade in that one episode. That's true of all accolades now. Just like the Jedi robes, just like the droid in episode 4.
Nice.
It's like brilliant. It's the most Star Wars possible Easter egg going. It's brilliant. So what we've done here, for what it's worth, and it may look like Starfy is just messing around and dancing around here. But the reason she was here in the first place was actually because there is a sort of secret hidden command post, which is where the droids spawn from. However, there is a slight developer oversight in that the player can come over and capture it. So what we've done is that we've captured it, and it just means that we've reduced our risk of the droids destroying our objective, which is a damaged ATTE, from what is essentially 1% risk to 0% risk. Like, it was very unlikely they were going to do anything in the first place, so we've come over here and guaranteed that they definitely won't, as rare as that is.
And now we're doing a very new glitch called USS, and basically what we're doing is there's a hidden menu when you press Control E that basically allows you to change some UI elements, which you can't save anyway. But if you press it twice, that means then it unpauses the game even if you're in a menu, which allows you to be able to, for example, switch characters wherever you want, basically. So we just place some mines at the church to kill some enemies later, and then we switch to sniper because they're faster without having to run through a CV.
Indeed. Cool. So now what we're going to do as Ayla Sakura is we're going to do a series of sprint dashes, sprint attacks. So as you can see, did that? There we are. Get the lightsaber throw in there. So,
one of the turrets got destroyed by the mines. They actually worked this time.
Hey! Oh, that's brilliant.
Nice.
That barely ever happens. So as you can see, what the specific sprint attack we're doing, if we rotate just a little bit anti-clockwise, you can see that Ayla does a lot of her damage output on the right side of her body. So if we turn left just a little bit as she's doing her sprint attack, we get more damage output coming out. So that's really key for dealing with these turrets, and we got incredibly lucky with those mines there. Right, so now we're moving on to Space Kashyyyk. We're going to be seeing more ship clips, this time using the V-Wing here. The V-Wing is the bomber class for the Republic. First of all, we need to deal with these two Banking Clan Comms frigates, also known as the Munificent in lore, of course. We've noticed that, if you aim generally for the front of the Munificent, it tends to do a little bit more damage per bomb that you drop.
Yeah, this level is pretty auto-scrollery for the first half of it, in terms of like all you're doing is bombing for a bit. Mm-hmm. So it's like we can't really make this faster than getting our first bombing done as fast as possible. We can get our last bombing like as close as possible to the frigate. This level I think is kind of cool for one little strat I like to do with out of bounds shenanigans. Hopefully things will go correctly.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Because we're gonna be basically landing inside the room of like where you normally can spawn and destroy the ship from the inside. There we're gonna be landing, hopefully.
Nice. All right, now we're gonna fly on over. We're gonna hope no one rams into us. That does happen a lot. Even teammates love to ram right into you for no reason. So we're just gonna chill. Oh, Tri-Fire taking off. Gotta slow it down. They're gonna kill me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Rude.
Not much I could have done about that. That was just unlucky. Gotta wait for the
take a
LAK to
second.
respawn.
Actually, while you're waiting for that respawn,
There we go.
there's actually one thing I wanted to mention, and then pass over to you to talk about something related to what I'm going to mention, if you don't mind.
Okay. Oh my
All right.
god. Somebody.
It's happening again.
AI's out for blood right now.
I'll make it quick then, I swear. Because coming up next week, March 9th through the 16th, GDQ's all-women and femme speedrunning event, which is Frost Fatales 2025, is going to be live, and we're going to benefit National Women's Law Center. Head over to gamesdonequick.com/framefatales for more info, or use !FF in Twitch chat to check out the schedule. Be my bestest friend, part 3. And I noticed, Starfy, you are a backup runner for Frost Fatales. So what are you on dock for that backup run?
I'm doing any percent for this game, so not the normal, not all missions, but it's gonna be regular any percent.
Ooh,
Yeah, I might
nice.
be showing off a new glitch there as well. So to see. Hope I did out of bounds correctly. Oh, I can't get back in the ship. Oh, I don't know if that's gonna work. I gotta leave it. That's a bad omen. That's not good. Oh no, they're gonna steal the Tri-Fighter. All right, I have to wait for a ship to spawn. Pretty unlucky because that ship got stuck in an awkward spot.
Ooh, gotcha.
Also, look how the AI cheats. Look at him.
Yeah, that's pretty
What
accurate.
is this guy doing? Oh, my
Tracks.
Oh, there's two of them.
That tracks.
They're space
I've
things.
never noticed that.
There's space things. But lots of men in this map, but it's just space. These maps can be a little trolly. That was pretty much the trolliest I've seen this map get, but
Well, it's marathon luck.
All right. This next level, we're going to purposely turn on friendly fire for a very specific reason. And you'll see this during this level. I'm going to go engineer, and we're going to be using a tank for a bit. And I'll let my commentators, talk about what I'm going for. Double neutral.
Yes, so double neutral. This is the most advanced tech that we have in order to beat Kashyyyk. Kashyyyk is a level that consists of 7 minutes of auto-scroller. The first objective that we're doing right now has 3 minutes of auto-scroller. The second objective is to go back behind the sea wall, which basically takes no time at all due to respawn shenanigans. And then the next objective after that will be to defend an oil refinery for 4 minutes, followed by taking all the CIS command posts. Now, we're able to reduce that time as much as possible on the non-auto-scroller sections. Namely in the final objective, by ensuring that the command posts that are on our side right now, command posts 1 and 2, which are first one is where the tank and the platforms are, just there with the turrets, and the second one with the beachhead. We need to make sure that both of those are neutral, hence why it's double neutral. We could also go for a single neutral as a bit of a backup in case we can't get the second one. But yeah, ideally what we want to do is get both of these neutral before the end of this mission. What will happen is that during the final objective, if you, the player, or any friendly AI, be it a clone or a Wookiee, happens to be in that spot when the objective comes up again,
Starfy, you're gonna...
then it will show up as neutral again, rather than being on the enemy's team. Oh dear. So we've got a minute left.
Just gotta defeat,
they might hold,
probably.
Maybe.
No, it won't.
It
A minute
won't. I
is
can't
Chances are it
basically
won't.
impossible.
We can't.
That's
There's a
very
1%
unlucky.
chance.
I have
Oh,
to
no,
wait.
hang on.
I have to
No.
restart the level.
No.
Unfortunate.
Yeah. So this is the main risk of double neutral
that was
here.
extremely unlucky because my team wasn't really. It should have gone out of the tank, but they're capping so quick that I needed to check on it, and then my team kind of just got into the tank the last second and trolled me a bit. So
unfortunately,
that's just how it is sometimes. There's
Now,
also
unfortunately,
something-
if you are, go on.
There's also a bit other risk as well. we have to pay attention to the amount of reinforcements we have left, because while we need to friendly fire our team to keep them from like recapturing the command post in the back, we have to watch our reinforcements. Because if it gets too low, we can get a defeat from that as well if we're not careful. Because we don't get reinforcement up until after we get to the back. So, fortunately, it happened at the start of the older scroller, like not barely like 2 minutes in, so not too bad.
Yeah, so as you can see, yeah, the that little blue number 30, I think that is 30, that is the number of reinforcements. It's just gone down to 29, 28, so we do have to be very careful. Killing Wookiees does not reduce that number, it's only the clones that we need to worry about, but yeah, either way, we do need to be very careful about that reinforcement counter. Unfortunately, one of the issues with using a tank is that if you are in a tank, you can't use it to capture or defend a command post, which is why Starfy did have to get out. Technically, it makes them more vulnerable, but equally, you know, there was no one really defending that command post either. So she was very much stuck between a rock and a hard place in that regard.
My team was kind of sleeping at the wheel a bit. It just happens at this level. But you see me spinning around circles a bit. This is you see me doing this movement. This is very specific reason I'm doing this, is to keep breaking the line of sight my teammates have to the droid I'm using, so that my team doesn't kill them. You can also pincer them in between two tanks if there are two, but it's a little trickier to do that, because they can, like, if you have teammates in the back or a Wookiee, can randomly one-shot them, so gotta be careful about that. I'll see if I can get it again. If I don't, I'm just gonna leave it alone. I see an engineer there, so we're at about 30 seconds, so it's safe to start doing it. I'm gonna do a check back here to make sure I don't have any teammates that could capture the objective, like this guy. I'm gonna try to protect this droid a bit. Do a little TKing. I'm gonna back up a bit.
Our allies are
there we go.
Useless.
Okay, we got more droids there.
I gotta thin out these droids a bit. I have to thin out the droids a little bit, because there's too many up here. Oh, well, that's unlucky.
What? Oh, okay.
Yeah, a little unlucky.
I thought you were just gonna restart the mission.
I was, but oh, I'm not gonna get double neutral, am I? Uh-oh. Oh, I got one neutral as a
no.
That's funny.
Oh wait, did you?
So the idea
the droid got into the back and like they started casting, which is going to happen if you can't watch the back. But we still have one neutral, so we still work with this. But this is
a slightly cursed neutral mine, because typically when we're thinking of what we call a single neutral, the neutral in question is usually command post 1, then we can move on to command post 2, then defend 4 from a distance, which is the sort of setup we're going to do now, and then go all the way to command post 5. And it kind of makes sense from a linear pathway moving perspective, just to go from like a straight line from one place to the other. It just means that this time we're going to have to go like do a little bit of back and forth in order to make the time worth it with the
I'm goofing around a bit
neutral for this one.
I am goofing around a bit because there's not really a lot to do, because it's a single neutral. It's a lot more chill. But if I have like a double neutral, I have to pay attention to a lot of factors. Like I have to keep track of the tanks to make sure there's no tanks in the back by the 50-second mark. Because the only threat to the oil refinery are the sail tanks. But so long as you manage them, you're fine. Now,
I was about to say, there's some interesting movement I'm seeing right now.
Yeah,
interesting is the way to put it, yes.
Yeah.
No, you can get some very, very crazy sort of velocity from these tanks sometimes, just going on all crazy angles and stuff. So
you should see Battlefront 1, but you get some really funky movement in that game. But you see and notice how these assault droids are super aggressive. That's also another problem we have in this level. For some reason, they thought it was a fun idea to have the assault droids in this map decide to be super aggressive with rockets. And you'll see them targeting my vehicles, even if like I'm not even like in them. And they barely have to lock on. Also, I need to do this. Very clean kill. I should check the oil refinery. That's still pretty healthy.
Oh, that's
Fine.
good. That's good. So yeah,
So
this
I'm
help.
gonna I'll show you what it looks like if I have double neutral. We're gonna be doing this. I have to sit here for a bit, kill these tanks, get this. I have to make sure the Spire Walker doesn't die until about 45 seconds, so it doesn't respawn while we're like capturing the beachhead and back here for double neutral. So we're doing fine. We also have to like make sure we're also trying to get more teammates, preferably commanders or snipers, because they have the most likely chance to help us capture the beachhead. Because you want to leave them at the beachhead while we capture the other one, this back one, and that'll save us like 24 seconds on that alone. But
this level has a lot of time save compared to if you don't do any neutrals. That's around 9 minutes in total, and with doing double neutral, you save over 45 seconds.
Oh, wow.
That's why we go for it, because annoying to set up, but it's definitely worth it.
So I'll give a show.
And even if you have to fall back on a single neutral, that still saves around 30 seconds anyway. So it's still worth going for, even if you don't quite get the full implementation.
And the reason why this works is that your teammates can recapture these command posts up until the final like objective, but the command posts are disabled right now. But they turn back on, but they'll get fully activated until the objective switches. And so we take advantage of that to interrupt the capture state, because normally we can't do anything if it's already like captured. Oh god.
Oh my god. This
Rest
is
rocket
so
moment.
unlucky.
Okay. I have to improvise a bit.
Backup goes, Yoda. Yeah.
Actually,
So
can you talk a
interesting.
little about that with the different
press it.
the different characters that Starfy's pulling out? Like, are they available for all the missions, or certain characters for certain missions?
Well, the standard 4, which are just on the
Now
regular trooper. I don't
they're gonna
even know
flip
what we call
it.
them.
So do I.
Then they have heavy, and then there's sniper and engineer. And we generally use sniper the most because they have the fastest movement speed, but they have very low health. So it can be sometimes a bit risky to use them.
I have an idea, but it's gonna
and
be
then-
like sketchy.
And then we have heavy and
I think I know what you
See
mean.
a stat?
used for special tasks.
They're getting out.
Oh yeah, no, that won't hold stuff you need to. But
I know what to do. Trust me.
God,
I'm
I'm seeing the vision. I'm seeing the vision. I know
Can I
exactly
do
what
this
she's
time?
going for. I do the exact same thing. Let's go.
yeah.
Pick up the stab. Nice. So the annoying thing about Command Post 4, so what we did earlier when we were capturing that was technically, we're not really supposed to capture that, even though it's so obviously and blatantly is. You can still see there's like a yellow arrow over it, and that means that droids, for some reason, are still able to take it back. They're not able to do this if we capture it during this objective. So because we took it early, it means they're able to take it back. We sort of caused a bit of a glitch there. So droids are able to take back that particular command post. However,
Holy
because Starfy knew
goodness.
that there were going to be stats coming in from command post 5 all the way over to 4, it meant that she was able to predict that there'd be a stat coming over, respawn as Yoda rather than traveling over, play as a trooper, get on the stat, and then travel over back to command post 5.
That was
to
a
take the
big
final command
improvisation
post.
on my
So
part.
it was a very good
Nice.
improv, a very good improv move, and
a
we
rock
got
jump.
the good spawn on Utapau. Let's see the rock jump.
Yeah.
Why is there a Magnagar up here? Get out of here. Don't do that.
They're always up there.
That
So, yeah,
sniper is like
Utapau.
aiming straight at me. Yeah, I don't like this.
Yeah, so Utapau, for those of you who remember episode 3, this is where Obi-Wan faces on Grievous, and that is exactly what we're going to do a little bit later on here. Curious thing about these, all of these command posts here that we're going to be capturing, for some reason they made it so that the droids aren't able to actually defend their command posts, even if they're in like the capture area. So as long as we're in the area ourselves, there's nothing the droids can really do aside from, generally shoot at us, to actually prevent it from being captured, just from like standing there.
Can
So
answer
this
why.
puts us in a pretty useful idea.
I can answer why, because the first half of Till Coruscant is supposed to be like a kind of like your introductory to the rest of the campaign, and so they didn't want you to get overwhelmed too hard on like the early game. So which is why like you see like in some objectives like the droids can't actually recapture or like contest They can only interrupt us.
Well, but
it's only true in
there's
certain
Magneto
cases.
where they can spawn even though it's neutral.
Right. That case,
Where they
I don't
can
know
straight
what
up spawn.
I don't know. Because there's a thing called, like, there's a Team 3 that the devs use as a tricky way to spawn extra troops.
Oh, yeah.
And it's on stuff called ambush triggers, and that's
All right,
one of
here
them.
comes Grievous. So let's watch this. There we
Nothing's
go. So
boss
we
fight.
just
Bye.
used Force Push on Grievous to immediately push him into the bottomless pit on Utapau. We're going to respawn, and we actually got really good spawn RNG there. So we're going to use that to fire some rockets over at those AA guns. And then all that's left is this energy tower, which takes about 5 rockets. And by doing the same tech that we did on Magneto to destroy those 2 turrets, we can rapidly fire those rockets over at the energy tower. And there we are, another victory. Fantastic.
This level,
So, yeah.
the Coruscant is probably one of the trolliest levels, even casually. If you've played this game, you know the infamous library. The Jedi hate reading books, so they're destroying their own library.
But to be fair, the library is not the problem for us for the same reason it's a problem for casuals. Like
What? Why?
Why is he in the ground?
Oh yeah, that can happen.
What?
Did you know?
It happens sometimes. It happens sometimes. It just happens. You gotta accept it. They can,
no.
They can clip through the floor sometimes on the spawn. Why?
You read a book and you go into a floor. That's why they avoid them.
The forest is a path to many
Well,
billions.
that's the dark side. Yeah.
Oh, lovely. So
Oh, man.
we're starting the infamous library segment now. Starfy's just gonna blast these guys into oblivion, and yeah, that's basically done. So now we don't need to worry about this. We're probably fine. So we just need to go to here. One of the future objectives is to capture a Jedi holocron and take it back to the veranda. Now, what we can do is actually take this, but we can perform what we call a turret clip. We can perform a turret clip in. I'm just going to perform a turret clip out.
Yeah. And for whatever reason, they spawn it from the beginning of the map, unlike every other holocron or like every other flag, where they spawn it whenever the objective starts. But we are not going to be complaining because faster run. But
Ow.
So yeah,
it's definitely
I don't
a
want to do
weird
this
decision to do.
now. Fix that. It's gonna throw me off later. Alright.
okay. And yep, there's the second wave of Jedi. So the second wave of Jedi spawn at the 1 minute mark. So yeah, we just got to deal with these guys now. There's nothing much to it other than just
pretty
blasting these
predictable, the
Jedi.
Jedis.
They only really take like basically 1 precision pistol of damage in order to kill them on a single body shot. What we're going to do here is that we're going to preempt an objective here. So there's going to be an objective later on. It's the final objective to destroy 3 Jedi Masters that are going to fall from the ceiling. They're very annoying. They've got a little bit more buffed health. They can do like saber throws and stuff. It's a bit annoying. So what we're going to do is we are going to
I don't like this. I
explode
hate
ourselves with a
mines.
rocket on the veranda. And by placing those mines there, that gives us just about a minute from the point they're placed in order to, as far as their lifespan is concerned. And if we're lucky, what we should be able to do is perform an infinite sprint here, take this next objective all the way to the gunship. We'll then be able to capture the second holocron, which we just pre-placed earlier. And then what should happen is that the Jedi should fall on the mine, explode instantly, and that should be the game ended. Now, it's not always going to be
I
perfect.
don't see the mine. I don't see the mine.
Oh, has the
No, I
mine
don't
exploded?
see it.
I can't tell.
That's a shame. Hang on, we'll see. We'll see for certain. So yeah, there's Holocron 1, Holocron 2, and then we're going to spawn in Anakin just as a bit of insurance. Unlucky. So luckily what we can do is if we get a pretty good pattern like this, then we should be able to deal with the Jedi pretty quickly. So even then, it wasn't that bad. But we could save even more time if they land on the mine, they explode instantly, and that's basically the mission done. But hey, that's pretty good improv skills at the end of the day. So this is the point where we now have buddies off. They're going to remain off for the remainder of the run.
Friendly fire.
Friendly fire, yes.
No,
Which
we're
is
stuck with
basically...
buddies. We're stuck with having buddies.
Sorry, yeah, I meant to say friendly fire, not buddies. Buddies is going to be there the whole way. But yeah, so this is where we now move away from the Republic side of the campaign, and we're now playing as the Galactic Empire. They're officially reformed into the Galactic Empire at this point, so we're no longer playing as clone troopers, we're now playing as stormtroopers. The four sort of main classes that we had before, that Emi was talking about before, the main clone trooper, the heavy sort of rocket trooper, the sniper trooper, and the engineer are still going to be here, but the two special units here are now a little bit different. So instead of a clone commander, we now got an Imperial officer, which we're not really going to make use of, but what we are going to make use of is this Dark
sketchy.
Trooper. That was a little bit
sketchy. That took a shot at me, but sometimes that happens even if you're fast with that. But luckily, I just ate splash damage and they get directly hit. I'm okay, and there's a health ammo hit, so we got a little lucky.
Nice.
So the thing with the Dark Trooper here is that it has a really, really fast form of movement. Although it doesn't technically sprint as fast as a sniper, what it does have is a jump pack, and we saw it earlier perform the Rotunda roof jump over there in order to make quite a bit of distance. And yeah, we can see it we can see him do a little bit of movement here as well. Just easily get to this next command post as well. The Arc Caster alongside the precision pistol is deadly as sin. It's very, very easy to cast a lot of kills very, very quickly, especially with a little bit of movement tech that we can use to skip certain reloads of the Arccaster as well. But we're now going to skip back onto the Trooper, and this is going to be the Starfy Special remote rocket trick to clear out these Jedi and then the Queen of Naboo. Perfect. Well done.
Wow.
So yeah, by firing the remote rocket right into that pile of Jedi, we're able to destroy all of them instantly, and then we only need to kill the Queen of Naboo immediately afterwards.
That was a goal. Oh wait,
so
no,
we use the precision pistol for that.
Hold on, that wasn't goal split. Don't listen to that me because like my splits are wrong.
Yeah, that was definitely not a gold split.
Oh, what the heck happened here?
Oh no, I know what's happened here because the screen faded to black. Because the screen faded to black,
the game crashed. Hold on, I goofed. That was my fault.
Oh
wait, no. It was just black.
No, I hit attack and the game crashed. It'd be like that.
Oh wait, really?
I didn't know it did that. So normally what happens here, so if you let the screen fade to black and then hit escape to then quit the game to then go back to the planet screen a little bit quicker. Normally what happens, basically the fade to black sort of holds, it moves, it transitions onto the planet screen as well. And normally you can just sort of continue as normal. I've never seen it crash before though. Thankfully we've got plenty of backup saves, so it's just a matter of booting up the game, launching it up, and then loading onto the next map, which is Mustafar. So previously we were fighting the CIS, who were the main enemies of the Republic. They're like the super battle droids and various other different types of battle droids. They're back. They're back for one last fight on the Mustafar planet, which is the planet where Anakin fought Obi-Wan.
On this one, this is the hardest clip in the game. The ship is very sketchy, so I gotta be careful. Got it first try.
Well done.
Nice.
The reason why that's difficult is because the strike bomber has a tricky hitbox to work with, and all right, I want to clip back out now. That was a little scary, but that's fine. Now we're gonna get these last two kills while we're out in space. I'm on the way back. Now we're gonna go land in the hangar. We gotta pay attention for any teammates taking off so I don't run into them. Thankfully it didn't happen.
I don't think teammates take off.
There we go. What's up?
Don't do it.
Look at him slide. He's doing the moonwalks. His backslide. That's crazy. Anyway, Mustafar. Alright. I want to show off Stinger Jump to get his spawn. That's fine. Do I get it? Ooh, okay, got it.
Nice.
Oh, well done.
That was kind of normal.
I had to pay attention to not.
Are you gonna do
don't
pizza
fire on the
delivery?
droid. Sorry, what?
Are you gonna do pizza delivery?
I'm gonna try to. I have to pay attention to the droids though, so they don't interrupt me. I missed.
All right.
It's a little tricky to hit the pizza. Pizza is like there's a visual collision in that wall. If we precisely throw it through, we can like damage the consoles early, if not outright destroy it. It's tricky though. It's not easy to hit on the fly. Now you have to also watch the droids so they don't like stall the objective on you while you're capping. So a little fortunate I couldn't get it, but it's okay. Gonna move on.
FYI, the reason why we call that pizza isn't just because the floor looks like molten, cheese. It's really to do with the fact that, a runner in the community, Pizza Yum Yum, basically joined the community, shared with us a whole bunch of missing collisions, including a series of collisions for the ships as well. But it included including that very small collision, small enough for a grenade to fit through.
Right. Let's see if I
And
hit this.
the idea is that, we could potentially destroy one of those computers a
Let's
little bit early.
go.
There we go.
So we're gonna be seeing another use of USS, which is to basically be able to, you can destroy the consoles now, and then
I took
afterwards
damage.
we're gonna be switching.
I took
After
damage.
we need to get a flag,
Uh-oh.
And,
I should probably get some health for safety.
and now
Michelle.
we can use sniper instead, because they're a little bit faster with movement. Outside the fact we don't have a lot of.
Doing a little marathon safety, get some health because I took a hit from a grenade. There's an assault droid behind me. Assault droids infamously love to assault classes love to randomly fire rockets at you and instantly kill you. So, it's always a little jump scare when you see one like just chilling like that with a rocket out.
Yeah.
Thankfully, we didn't die. Gazor's
also
doing a weird routine. Scout Trooper, don't get down, Mr. President Gazor, please. But
I love how "get down, Mr. President" is like a universal speedrunning term, or even randomizer term for that matter.
Gazor, we have to be careful not to kill him too fast because the game will soft block if we kill him too fast. So
If you kill him before the objective even starts, that's when that issue happens.
Grievous can also do that, which is why force pushing him is important. If we try to kill him with, say, a rocket, it would soft lock the game.
Lovely. So now we're on to Camino. This is where the stormtroopers who that we're playing as, they're clones. We're fighting clones. Boba Fett, famously the original clone, is all clones, and this is sort of battle against the brothers, really. And we've just seen an out of bounds, so very tricky out of bounds to perform. Because we got because there's more height that we can make use of that normally we wouldn't be able to in typical instant action. It means that we're able to use Boba Fett's jetpack and fly up through a piece of missing collision, through the roof, and do that while holding the flag, which normally you're not supposed to be able to do. But because we were mid-flight while we were collecting the flag, the game just allows it. So as long as we do that in one singular flight, then that's the trick to it.
Also, this level is the main use of wall. You'll see the wall runs the most throughout the run. Wall running is a tech I found with some help from Mont. Well, where if you run a wall at an angle, there's a lot of walls like this in the game, including the railings there. You get a speed boost if you hold your camera at a specific angle.
Yeah, I know we're going to be destroying some. What is it actually? I don't remember.
The clone life support pods, I believe. So.
Life support pods.
And a double check.
So once we've destroyed all of these, So last objective is just to take out some gunships. So as long as we fire one rocket and then a few precision pistols, there we are. And we just got to do that for the grounded one as well. Fantastic. Lovely.
Nice.
That was a close rocket to miss. That second one, that was close.
It's a little close, but I'm confident. I'm a little confident in it.
There we are. So we were really, just before we were kind of looking at, the Empire during sort of the interwar period. The Rebel Alliance wasn't really there yet. We just stamped out the CIS for the last time. But now this is the point where the Empire is now having to deal with the Rebel Alliance as we know and love them, or well, more know and loathe them as is the case with our speedruns, of course.
Yeah. So now we're also going to get introduced to Wookiees, which are really can be really annoying, but because the fact that if when they're very close, they basically have a shotgun. So basically, if they're very close, they do a stupendous amount of damage, and they have a lot of health, which makes them very, very dangerous. They can one-shot you, and then because we always going to be in close corridors, and then they are annoying to take down because they have more health than anything else.
Yeah, so
they can really easily be run-enders.
So Starfleet's just fallen down the pit there, basically just to do a bit of a tactical respawn to go back to the main base, basically just to deal with this ambush. It's a very small ambush of around 6 rebels. There is a bit of a risk that they can interrupt this command post and sort of take it for themselves, because the whole point of this first objective is basically to defend this command post. But we're largely going to use this as an opportunity to set up a bit of out-of-bounds tech. So what we're going to do is we're going to find a piece of surprisingly exploitable out-of-bounds on this level, and we're basically going to find ourselves in a bit of out-of-bounds that should be in range of the command post that's going to show up after this 20 or so seconds. And so yeah, by crouching here, moving forward, there you go, out of bounds, easy peasy. Now, you just got to be careful not to fall into the bottomless pit everywhere, but yeah, through some expert navigational skills, yeah, we're able to land on this little corner of collision where we can still land and shoot through the walls. So we can, what's great here is that we can shoot through the walls at the rebels. They cannot shoot back at us because that is solid wall behind us. And so by, we're able to defend this command post completely risk-free. And actually, if we charge up our Arccaster here, that tends to scare away rebels as well. So you'll see, you might be able to see on the minimap, they'll go towards the command post, see the Arccaster, get scared, and then turn away. And now we're going to be seeing another use of USS. Oh,
it's fine.
Is this the...
It happens.
Oh, okay, never mind. So
do at least kill the...
So I try to hit the USS, so I do USS, so like, I'll hold my Arccaster out, and I'll charge it, and then I'll time it, like, right as that rebel spawns, but before the, like, spawn screen, or the objective screen pops up, because that interrupts the USS. And for some reason, it removes the Arccaster shot. And so I want to land on the rebel as I kill them, and then grab the flag and run it with it as the sniper. I died there, but I got stuck in the ceiling. That can happen. A little bit of marathon shake there, but it happens. Like, it's a new tech that I still haven't fully made comfortable in my runs, but I'm pretty consistent at doing it. It's just not the easiest thing.
Yeah, it's a little bit janky, the USS tech, just because you do have to sort of enable it, disable it, and then once the objective screen shows up again, you kind of have to do it again. So it can be a little bit difficult pulling off all those inputs all at once, and taking into account all these extra little bits. This is going to be quite a niche, nice little use of USS here, because we can literally just use the jetpack to get there a little bit faster, and then switch to the rocket trooper here. So that really quite nicely demonstrates how we're doing this.
Annoying,
and then
normally the door would be open, but yeah, so you're gonna have to use a mine.
There we go.
But you didn't get any speedruns, so that's...
Yeah, it's the very edge of the mine damaged them, so it just didn't ragdoll, thankfully.
Yeah, no ragdoll is nice.
That last USS is like probably one of the easiest to do and implement, and just practice. So if you just want practice for it, it's not too bad. Alright, this level's a little scary. I don't like this spawn, even though it's not the worst one. It's very sketchy, my MO.
Is it not the worst one? That looks like the worst one.
No, it's the one that's like God spawn. That's like right. That's a lot of Wookiees. Yeah, so there's an uncapped amount of Wookiees that could just spawn in this level.
Yeah.
No real reason. Rebels just decided
just to make our life more difficult.
Both monsters have a load of Wookiees. Oh my god!
Ooh.
Why are there so many of you?
Oh.
I have to improvise and not die.
There was a Wookiee fire sale somewhere.
If you ever play Republic Commando, you know the little like if you remember that section, like a shape where you're going through the baby Wookiee area. Like, there's one on the Waltz Monster for some reason. It's like there's so many Wookiees to this map. It's actually insane.
Yeah.
For context, if you're playing a typical, 16 versus 16, conquest mode of this game, it's about
scary.
4 Wookiees on the Rebel team. This, you can see, you can count them. There's just way more than there normally should be, way more than 4. But as you can see, Starfy's been able to pull off an infinite sprint, and so we're going to continue that infinite sprint all the way back, and just a scratch of health taken, and So
someone
really
threatened all those
stuff.
Wookiees. Yeah, someone threatened all those Wookiees to be in the Star Wars Holiday Special, and they just ran. They just ran.
Oh, don't remind me. I still got stir, whisk, stir stuck in my head ever since I first watched it years ago. You brought it back. Can't believe this.
All right, so right there,
And then-
we're doing another remote rocket to trigger ambush triggers, which are little ambush areas in the level that devs added in to ambush you at certain spots.
Yeah, which is meant to be happening later, realistically speaking.
And this so
Well,
happens that if you trigger them early, right, the AI will actually be flipped to be unable to cap, because while throughout the level, casually, you'll notice that the rebels will start spawning in the back, start capping the bat hangar behind you. But if you trigger the ambush trigger early, they won't be able to, they'll be flipped to not be able to capture for whatever reason. So unless it's more safely, just chill. Also, speaking of safety, this is a little sketchy. I'm gonna chill a little extra time here, just so I don't eat a defeat at random. That'll be the worst thing.
This level can be a choke because we basically
I'm gonna
have to
respawn now.
leave before the
Leaving really
objective is
late
done.
than usual, but it's for safety, so I don't die. But you see, the rebels haven't been able to capture 1, and my team has cleaned house at 1, so now we can go back here to this command post. Not command post, this objective back here. Hopefully I don't die to a Wookiee. Set that back down in the center. Respawn. Make sure it's in the center so it fully damages it. We're gonna wait. Fusion cutter out. We're gonna detonate it, and now we're back here. Now we just chill. Probably one of the second to last chill moment in the run.
Nice.
So we're just kind of vibing here. No rebels. They're all back there.
Yeah.
No ambush.
Because we spawned them all very early on, it means that, no rebel ambush. And because we got here before the objective started, it means that we actually skipped the trigger for those guys spawning as well. Like an extra trigger. So, we were just able to
This
clear off
trigger
that command
respawns,
post
by the way.
really, really easy. It does. We don't need to worry about that.
Yeah.
So there's usually a few seconds just before the victory screen, and there it is. Lovely.
Nice.
All right, get ready for fear. All right.
Oh yeah. Now we're gonna come to the shortest map in the game, which is Tensive, and beforehand we had problems with Wookiees. Now we have problems with snipers because they are really aggressive on this map, and they're very close to you, so they are really can very easily end your game. So they can one-shot you and then you're dead. So you can see all the yellow shots. They are all long shots that sometimes fly around. They are all sniper shots, and they can all kill you if they can headshot you. So it can be kind of scary, this first command post. But now that we have completed that, we are now gonna wait to spawn with Vader, even though he is the fastest character in the game, because lightsabers and these consoles are a bit
Stuff, I think you might be missing a console just to the left. Oh, no, you're fine. Sorry, ignore me. I thought I saw a yellow flashing. I thought I'd just say something. You're good.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Oh, phew.
It's
I've had
okay.
that happen to me a few times before.
See Vader's speed, and
Vader's the fastest
gonna
character in
be
the game.
flying through this map. Yeah.
And then we're
By
detaining
far.
Leia, and that's it.
Yeah, that was the
we're
beginning of
just
Star
containing
Wars,
her.
everyone. I hope you caught that. There you
My
go.
lord!
right.
You have spoiled.
And now for one of the longest ILs and also probably one of the most painful, but for this reason, for one of them. For some reason, the devs didn't decide to set custom spawn points. It's just the regular ones from the assault, and so we have to walk like 15 seconds to our ship if that happens. Nothing we can do about that.
I'm gonna be completely honest. I completely forgot there was all missions. I in my head we're going to Yavin now.
This level is a lot of bombing, but the TIE Fighter is actually probably the fastest and one of the strongest ships for like doing these objectives. The TIE Bomber is usually better for outside bombing, but for this and destroying internals, the TIE Fighter is like the best in the game. Just for whatever reason, it does more damage to like than it feels like it should in any other ship of this class. Also, my team like clutched up there. That's cool.
Nice. Oh, fantastic! Look at that. You love to see it.
So you're going to see a lot of random maneuvering from me. Part of it is to stay alive because AI is very aggressive in this level, and random deaths happen a lot. So if we're not careful, so you see these like everything's shooting at me. If I die, I will lose a lot of time. Then it would be for me to play it like a little safer.
There we are. And,
that's it. We're almost to safety. Alright, we're good. Now I just gotta get to this clip before. There's another clip here for the rebels. It's fairly easy. You just hug the ship here, and then you slide on in. And now we can destroy the ships from safety in here. Do the final objective. So this is pretty chill for the rest of the level.
Yeah, it's got to be said. The fact that at no point did Starfy actually die during those first two objectives is genuinely commendable. I've been practicing a little bit of Space Yavin myself as someone who's a bit of a newcomer to the space mission specifically of this game. In terms of speedrunning, the fact that this is like a 0 deaths coming into this section is genuinely commendable, because like the bad luck you can sometimes get from like auto turrets and other random ships and the frigates and everything, it genuinely makes playing this game a little bit hard, especially on those two objectives. But because we've now clipped inside the ships, it's just like on Death Star. Because we're already inside, they can't shoot through us. We can shoot at them. We're not going to, because we're instead going to shoot through these turrets and everything. So it's all.
Oh, that's what. Okay.
All very good.
I was like, Death Star. Wait. Oh, yeah, that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, no. Yeah, very different maps, but
I think one of the profusenness is the flip. Yeah. Will it do enough damage? Nah, you're gonna lose a little time. That's fine. Deathless again is probably the best case scenario in this level.
And here we are now. So if we destroy these engines, then that'll be the final objective for this mission.
And this it can be a little precise from this angle, so I have to like shoot and making sure that I'm hitting the correct spot by shooting it, so I don't accidentally whiff it. So because the torpedoes will go straight from wherever you're aiming, directly from where the lasers are hitting. So I'm just have to line myself up in case I like goof some of these tighter shots. We're almost done here. We're vibing. It's very chill for the last 2 minutes of this level. If you can make it in here. I'm gonna go kill another rebel. I made him crash. Let's go.
Nice.
Nice.
Dogfighting is fun. Dogfighting is fun in this game, but AI can make it a little annoying sometimes. How cheaty you get. That's the final space mission, though.
Me having CTF flashbacks.
Space
with
CTF.
Space.
Don't talk about space CTF. That was a random rocket. I don't know where that came from. That's not a good omen, but... I hear a Wookiee behind me.
Ah, yes.
Now, interestingly, you can see Starfy throwing a grenade there. Interestingly enough, when you throw a grenade onto shallow water like this, like we can see here on the fountain, the detonators tend to explode much faster than normal. I guess they don't tend to do much to like jumping around before they actually detonate. So they land and then they just detonate like that. So it's really, really effective way of clearing out enemies. It can work the other way though, but got very
where's the
lucky.
tank? Where's the rockets coming from? What in the world?
Were they coming from somewhere north? I think. Like, I don't know.
What on earth?
Maybe I reckon maybe the tank was moving in an easterly direction, but the rockets, because they're manned by a
The
co-pilot,
boat choice is stuck there. That's funny.
must have been firing in a different direction entirely. But this is a really, really good viaduct. This command post can be particularly annoying because of how close you have to hug to the walls there in order to actually continue capturing it. So it can be really difficult trying to clear out enemies in there. But yeah, now we move on to the reflecting pool, which is the last command post we'll be taking on this mission.
I have them hiding here so I don't randomly die to a tank turret, because those are really aggressive, and one hitting you can instantly kill you. Just about. But I'm safe here. I'm gonna switch to heavy, and now we have one of the last vaccination points in the run. His objective is pretty easy to defend. So we can just vibe here for a bit.
Fair.
I'll tell you what, speaking from experience, having, reached that sort of apex, you've got the God run of all time, and you're at this point, you just need that little bit of a breather. This is a really good, 2-minute section where you can just sort of vibe a bit, kill some rebels, just of course, still defend. You're still actively doing stuff, but you're just... zen right here in a mode of zen. Still mindful of the timer though because first of all there's going to be a bunch more rebels spawning at the 1 minute mark that we'll just need to clear off. But around when do you tend to leave? 20-second mark or the 25-second mark? Take a tank over. Yeah. We'll need to take a tank over for the next objective. Here we go. In 1 second.
I deserve that.
Hey.
Different kind of spawn kill.
Oh well, it's all good.
Now you're
Who's doing that?
And now you spawn. Oh yeah, it's because you triggered the ambush trigger.
Did I?
That's because you spawned outside the outside the
Interesting.
the thing.
All right, it's about the time where we can just safely leave at this point. I'm just... Yeah, it's being really aggressive right now. But we're gonna leave. Got a teammate here for whatever reason. Hopefully they don't steal my tank.
Oh yeah, I've had that happen before.
Whoa, look at him go. Look at him go, little trooper.
Well, bye, teammate.
He's zipping off.
That trooper's like, oh, she's on to me. Gotta go.
I can hear the Hanna-Barbera sound effects right now. Man is skidding on over. Look at it. Lovely. So we're able to take this tank. We need to take this bomb beacon over to the store. There's a 10-second countdown that we just need to wait for.
I yeeted my tank at the other tank, so I can.
And if you have the commentator on, they will say that you need to step back, but they don't. It doesn't really do any damage. So unless you have very low health, it doesn't. You can just stand right next to it.
Lovely. And those 3 Bothan spies there were the rebel leaders, and we just killed them instantly. So perfect.
All right, it's gonna be the hardest level in the run. To start, I have to focus.
So yeah, this is the
snipers. Count the amount of snipers you see, by the way.
Yes. Yes.
Oh yeah.
This is also the final level of the run for what it's worth, so it makes sense for it to be as hard as it is. But yeah, let's see. See if we can get the infinite sprint en route. Third attempt.
There's one sniper shot. The yellow shots there, they are all snipers from the rebel side.
This is bad.
So if you see those, those are snipers.
Oh,
got double hit by snipers immediately. So yeah, that's.
This can get incredibly rough. So usually the best strat for us, if we want to be somewhat fast, is basically just sprint on over and basically perch ourselves between the ammo droid and the health droid. And then just try and shoot rebels as much as we possibly can. Unfortunately, Starfleet just got really unlucky with the amount of rebel sniper fire there. Hopefully, second round, we got the AT-AT support dealing damage to some of the turrets and some of the extra rebels. So it's a good backup, really.
This level. Whoa! Wait, hold up! Oh, don't die! Don't die!
Ooh.
Wait.
Oh my God!
Wait.
Keep him alive! Keep him alive! Keep him alive! Don't die! Don't die! Don't die! Don't die!
Keep the Tauntaun. Wait. This is what we in the community refer to as God Tauntaun. If you're insanely lucky, a rebel riding a Tauntaun can take their way over to the command post, and we can ride that over to the next objective, which is command post 2, which is this bunker here. We've got to be very careful because the Tauntaun is incredibly fragile in terms of health, but actually, wow, there we go. So talk about like an absolute mix of this is blessed. Like we managed to like what die on the way over, but then we get God Tauntaun. So
just take a look over there.
What's the? Oh dear, oh dear. Well,
I think you will be fine.
We might be fine.
It's not completely twisted. It's not. They have not turned, which is the annoying part. I think anything that isn't.
They're a little churn.
They are 90 degrees.
Yeah,
turn.
it just requires. This one requires a little bit of turning. So, in the grand scheme of things, if you've ever, for anyone that's played this game before, sometimes the AT-ATs will like rotate like 180 degrees away from the actual objective. They'll just be facing the completely wrong direction for no good reason. It's just an unfortunate thing of once if you are playing the game more and more and more, the more likely like stochastic random crazy things are going to happen, and that includes the likelihood of the AT-ATs just facing in the right direction or in the wrong direction completely. Now this is the normal Tauntaun that we usually get, so there's usually always a Tauntaun there that we can pick up, and then we can ride it over to Echo Base, and that saves us having to do a lot of traveling.
That first objective is honestly probably the scariest part of this level, because it's like if you want context about snipers I've had to deal with before, a world record run, I got to this level and there was like I counted like 12 snipers on that CP, and there's just no way I was just gonna die no matter what. It's kind of like if that happens, there's not a lot you can do except just pray and survive. It's a lot of praying on that one. Snipers in this level are some of the most aggressive in the entire game, and this also happens on the CTF version of this map as well. The snipers are
oh my god, that's
scary.
so. But that's also because there's auto turrets. Auto turret in this game can be absolutely insanely overpowered because they shoot so many goddamn shots, so they're gonna hit you.
Ow.
Unless that one maybe, but that
Absolutely. And we're going to be seeing, we've kind of seen Darth Vader sprinting quite heavily in Tantive 4's very, very tight corridors. Now that we've got a bit more of an open space, we're actually able to see that a little bit more openly as well. But yeah, now this is the final objective.
The last objective of the entire run.
Yes. So once we see the victory screen, that will be the point in which we're calling time.
This is pretty much the victory lap of the run. There's not really much to worry about at this point. There's no real threat of losing unless you somehow get killed. There's a ton of rebels on it. But this part's a victory lap, so I'll just take this time to just showcase some movement. Just for fun.
Yeah, Vader looks just like a cool character to move around in, just with how like fast he's moving and everything.
You would be surprised. There is an entire community dedicated to just Darth Vader related parkour for this game. Just playing around on the Mos Eisley Hero Assault mode. And there's the things you can do as Darth Vader. I mean, there's plenty that I don't know. I've been playing this game for a good few years now. Running it for a good couple now.
God Tauntauns and Darth Vader parkour. Two things not on my bingo card today, but I'm so glad I heard.
That Tauntaun is extremely rare.
Yeah, the fact we got it at GDQ is something of a blessing.
Love it.
Cannot be said more. There we are.
GG's.
Congratulations.
Now it's time to dodge the copyright.
Hey!
Yeah,
While that is being dodged, yeah, for the three of you, first off, again, Chet, GG's for a fantastically awesome run. Let Chet know where they can find you, what you're currently playing, and any community shout-outs you might have.
I stream on Twitch. I do upload to YouTube as well. I also do some fighting game stuff. I play Persona 4 Arena Ultimax, and that game is where I met some of my closest friends as well. But in here too, in this community for Battlefront 2 for speedrunning, I want to shout out the community for just being really cool, nice, sweet. Especially the two here I have today. I wouldn't be speedrunning this game if the community wasn't so kind. And it's helped me grow a lot as a person as well, and getting out of my shell more. And I'm glad to be able to showcase this game and just, yeah. Shout out to Kaz and Emu for being here. Two runners that kind of like just pushed me to get this far. And just
thank you for inviting us. It's an absolute pleasure to be here.
You can also find them on Twitch as well. And they also upload runs as well, obviously. And challenge runs for Kaz's.
If I'm in a position to plug as well, you can find me on twitch.tv/Kazumus, Kazumus, and I'm also on YouTube as Kazuma Speedruns, where I post all of my personal best and world record speedruns, as well as a few odd challenge runs, namely my minimum kills duology so far, hopefully a trilogy soon in the future.
Nice. And Emu, what about you?
Oh, well, yeah, you can find me also on Twitch and YouTube, but I don't stream very often, so probably mostly YouTube, where I upload my runs from time to time.
Awesome. All right, everybody, give GG's one more time for Starfree. Welcome back, friends, to the final run of today's awesome episode of Express Lane. I just want to give you a heads up because I've seen some really cool emotes and whatnot in chat. If you want to start using those, remember, feel free to sub to the channel, and then your subs, Prime Gaming subs, gift subs, bits, all of that you cheer on the channel itself, GDQ Twitch channel, is going to help support Hotfix and Games Done Quick. So if you enjoy watching speedruns, maybe subscribe, get access to those emotes, like I said, and you can talk with other subscribers during our replays, which will be after this next run, which is a pretty unique run. We don't see these very often on Hotfix. I'm super excited. It's going to be 102 Dalmatians, Puppies to the Rescue, all levels tasks. And that task is going to be run by Passer. So hello, friend. Tell us a little bit about what's going on right now.
Yeah, so this is 102 Dalmatians. It's going to be a tool-assisted speedrun, which means that all of the inputs are pre-recorded frame by frame. This is a task by me and Avuka. And so what that means is frame by frame, we put in the perfect inputs for the game to reach the perfect speedrun of the game. Like impossible for a human to do, but very possible for a task to do. And here with me on commentary, if you'd introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Kira Kennedy. I'm going to be watching the tasks for the first time, but I am also a runner of this game, so I have some knowledge of the game itself, but it'll be a live reaction from me, so it's going to be really, really fun. I'm really excited.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun time, for sure. Before I show the actual task, I mean, this isn't the task, this is me walking around. I do want to explain some things about the game just because it's going to go so fast with the task that it needs some context. So, I mean, we're a puppy. The fastest way to get around is by rolling. But there's a way to get even more speed from rolling, and that is through a slope boost. So if you jump and then roll on a slope, all of your downward speed gets transferred into forward speed, so you can go really fast like that. So you're going to see that just all over the place for just general movement tech whenever there's a slope. And then the next things that I want to show are out of bounds glitches. So the first one that I'm going to show is called a ledge clip. And that you can do anywhere where, or I shouldn't say anywhere, there's specific ledges you can do this on. And what you can do is you can clip between the upper ledge and the floor in that vertical space between them. And so I'm going to see if I can do it here. You have to get very slightly off the edge, so it's pretty hard for a human to do. Yeah, like that. Okay, so you saw I fell briefly out of bounds. I did hit the third rail and bounce back up, but very briefly I was out of bounds there. And the reason I want to show you that is because sometimes you're going to see the task just like jump into something and then the puppy goes through, and it's probably a ledge clip that you're seeing.
Gotcha.
And then the last thing that I want to show is an object clip. So this one's used a ton throughout the task, and when humans do RTA runs too. Anywhere there's an object that's close enough to the wall, like this crate here, you can get the puppy trapped between the object and the wall and then get out of bounds. And you can also do it with enemies like that bear. You can do it with friendly NPCs. The thing about doing it with enemies and NPCs is that they move and it's not as easy to do. So I'm going to do it with this crate real quick, just to show you what it looks like and also what the void looks like. So what you can do is once you're trapped there, and when you jump, the game's going to push you out because it doesn't want you to clip into the object. It does the opposite and it pushes you out of bounds. And so this is the void.
And then the puppy can go up and down in the void.
I was about to say, my directions are a little weird right now. That puppy is going up.
Yep. So we can just float around in the void. Rolling is the fastest, but you'll see like when I'm rolling, I can't really see where I'm going. So the task is going to make use of rolling a lot, but for humans, you would not roll as much just because you can't see what you're doing. And then the last thing is if I roll and then drop all my inputs, the puppy will eventually get low enough that you spawn back at the beginning. And that's another strategy that you'll see used in the task. Yeah, so I think that's it. So with that, what I can do is I can start the task right now. What I'm going to do first is it's going to restart the console, which is really important because we want to always have consistent RNG. So this puts it back at like a known RNG seed so we can go from there. And so again, this is the task now. These are all pre-recorded inputs. So this is a perfect run of 102 Dalmatians. And this is actually the 4th version of the task. So the previous one, so this one's by me and Avuka. The previous one is by Avuka and Custom. And then the previous 2 before that were by Avuka. So definitely huge thanks to Avuka for all the work that he's done on this and Custom too. And just the community in general. This really is like the culmination of a lot of work by the community to find all these tricks and get to this point.
Yeah, the community is awesome for this game.
Should say, did the timer start?
I will count down after this load. So 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck, Tess.
Good luck, Tess. So that was a ledge clip right there already. And that's the first level. We're done.
Oh,
classic.
And now we're going to go on to Toy Store. So the reason that you're going to see a lot of toy-themed things and also all the enemies are toys in this game is because the plot of this game is that Cruella has a toy business and it's doing terribly. And she thinks that the reason is because people are spending all of their money on pets instead. So she's going to kidnap all the pets in England and turn them into toys. That's her plan. It makes perfect sense.
That seems logical.
Yep. You're going to see an out-of-bounds clip right here. So again, that enemy is a toy. It's a toy car. And then we got a slope boost underneath the slope from out of bounds. Straight into the exit.
It's actually so hard to control stuff like that in real time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like you're going to see some crazy flying around that it would just be like, it would be impossible to react to in real time. This one's actually really cool. So, I mean, Kita, I think you'll really appreciate this. This is normally all in bounds in pretty much any category that you do. But Custom found a way to clip with Fidget here. And then normally this wouldn't be useful because the level's like super long and straight and has walls around it. But there's these manholes that teleport you from one part of the level to the other. So if you hit the trigger for an earlier manhole, it'll pop you out at the end. And then this then ends up being faster.
That is smart. Ooh. I like it.
And so that's like the only time you'll ever see an out of bounds in Piccadilly.
Yeah, I've literally never seen that.
And now it's a big thing.
Yeah, I have a question for, I mean, how does one like get into building a task, or like how do you find all these things that are task perfect? Like I've always been fascinated by people that are able to do these. And hey, look, you're right here. I could ask you about it.
Yeah, absolutely. So first of all, what you're going to see in this level as it's going through, you're going to see a lot of helicopter clips. So like what that takes to do on tasks is like you have to perfectly manipulate the helicopter so that it dies against the wall, and then you can use that to get out of bounds. So that's what you're seeing here, just to give you a little bit of signposting there. But so to do a task, it does take, like, you really have to research the game. You really have to dig into it. Like for this game, like me and Ivuka were both part of the community for a long time. We had a lot of knowledge of the types of things that were possible, and also the types of things that we like wanted to see made possible. So that, I think, I mean, that's how it would work for like a game that you really know, is like you really just kind of like dream it up and be like, how can we make this work? Like we think that this should be possible if a human could ever get to that skill level. So like, you know, how can we do that? For a game that you aren't familiar with, I'm working on a task right now that I'm not allowed to say what it is because we're not revealing it yet.
Fair.
But I'm working on a task right now that I hadn't ever speedrun or played before, and so it's like me going through like all of the tricks that have been discovered ever to see like, okay, what are things that like people tried and maybe it didn't work for a human run, or like they tried and they never found a use for it, that we could potentially put into this task to make it faster and cooler and all that kind of thing.
Oh, nice.
It's very cool. Also, we did just defeat Cruella by launching pineapples at her.
I noticed that. I love it.
Just, you know, normal things.
Yeah.
In this
how long did
level,
this task-
wait, so 1 second. This one right here, this is a really cool example of what a task can do that a human never could. So watch this. So we just went from like the bottom to the top. That is a trick that Custom First, like I shouldn't say a trick, it's like a glitch that Custom First recorded on accident in 2018. And it took us all the way until doing this task, you know, like, I guess mostly this task was completed in 2023. So like 5 years later until we got to the point where we recreated it in this task. So it's those kinds of things where it's just like, oh, well, this really cool thing that like we never had an explanation for. How can we put that in the task? And then watch this. This is really cool too.
Oh,
what?
Nice.
So if you get the puppy trapped on a slope, it'll just keep gaining speed. And then you can release that speed by jumping, which is really cool, really fast, and you can just fly around. Okay, now you had a question.
Yeah, it's just how long did this task take to get to where it is now? You said it was finished in 2023, but how long have you been working on it?
I mean,
or is it kind of like an off and on project?
It's just so hard to say because like this is the fourth version of the task, and so much of this task owes things to the previous versions and figuring things out in the previous versions and all of that.
No, that's fair.
I think. Oh yeah, this is really cool.
Oh, that's something I've not seen before.
What?
Wow,
What?
It goes straight to the.
Okay.
That's great.
This is the reason that we did this task actually. So what happened? So that was underground. G-Correct was just practicing and found that like it just happened to him. But there's no way. Like it's a very specific spot on the wall. You have to hit it with the speed of the train, and then you can go through it. And so since it's such a very specific spot, a human couldn't do that. It's not useful for us in runs. But for a task, the normal speed of the dog is about 2,700. And right there, we go over 20,000 speed, I believe. And we're going to go even faster at later points in this.
All right.
Dogs are zooming.
And that's another component to tasking, too, is like, when I say like learning everything about the game, I mean like we're like digging into the memory and like finding the speed values and how things are stored and stuff like that. Like,
gotcha.
Trying to learn everything that we can that might be useful. But I will say, I guess to give like an estimate, I think like, I mean, a task like this can take months. It can take years. I guess it really depends on like how much time you have to put into it. This one,
That is just
Might have
impressive.
taken like 6 months.
That's so cool.
Throwing fruit at Cruella again, the classic.
Yeah, we just defeated Cruella with watermelons.
Krilla's not a fan of fruit, I'm noticing.
Yeah.
Pineapples, watermelons.
Yeah, definitely. And in that one, we actually switched puppies. So at first we were Domino, who's got spots, and then now we're Oddball, who's all white. And that's because her voice line is 2 seconds faster in that single unskippable cutscene in the whole game is during Cruella 2. So we saved a little bit of time by switching to Oddball.
Now, in a traditional speedrun of the game, do the different puppies have different abilities, or is it just more of an aesthetic thing you can choose between?
It's really just for that single cutscene.
Oh, all right.
So
Yeah, they control like identical to one another.
Okay.
Barnyard is super cool.
Oh, no,
I love this
usually
one.
my worst level, I'll say.
Well, we get to, so I don't know, like, how do you feel about the rooster? Because
I don't like it.
just watch what we're gonna do here. I mean, so this is a task-based level. It's like museum. We had to do 5 fetch quests. In this one, we have to do 5 chores because this is Priscilla the pig. It's her birthday. The farmer's being super lazy, so we're gonna help her out and do some chores. And so the next task after this one is going to be the hens, and this is probably my favorite thing in the whole task. Not because it's okay, it is super crazy how we get there. So watch this. We're gonna get out of bounds like right here, and then there's gonna be a rooster on top of the coop. It'll be hard to track, but there's a rooster there, and we're just gonna roll right into him.
What?
Oh my
And the
goodness.
rooster is gone now. The rooster is actually a toy, just like all the enemies. So if you roll into him, he dies. Normally, every
no
time
idea.
you get a hen into the coop, the rooster crows, which is slow, and also it can soft lock if you get them stacked. So we just get rid of him, and then all our problems are solved.
I didn't realize that it was like you could actually defeat the rooster.
Maybe we should have a speedrun
crazy.
category for defeating the rooster, honestly. Here, so again, we went out of bounds. What we're doing here is we have to hit 3 switches to empty the silo, but the inside of the silo is stored like way off in the out of bounds. So if we use all that speed that we got out of bounds to go there, it's faster to just do all of that from out of bounds and never set foot inside the silo.
Makes sense.
Perfectly logical.
Yeah, it's just what you do.
Dogs are experts at going into the void, as we know.
As I glare at my 2. Yes, they are.
And so again, I guess a little bit of explanation for what's going on there is like when you clip into the out of bounds, what we're doing there is we hit a slope boost that then gives us all that speed that lets us like go really fast to the various things that we need to do. That's what is happening there. And then that was just a death warp to get back to Priscilla.
Nice.
Happy birthday, Priscilla.
Happy birthday, Priscilla. In museum, we have to give Fluffy a donut, but in Barnyard, we don't have to give Priscilla her birthday gift because, of course, I guess.
No.
Oh.
So sad.
And now we're on Ice Festival.
My favorite level. I love this level.
So we're going to skip it all.
No.
Wow.
I just love the colors and everything.
What?
It's so pretty.
It is. Yeah, so this level, it's like it's a circle. So if you go right on the other side of the wall of the starting point, it's the exit. And so using the penguin to clip, if you're a human, the setup, depending on your setup, you'd have like 1 to 3 frames to do the clip. But the task can just make it look easy. And that was a ledge clip right there. So that's what I mean about like, it's impossible to sometimes even tell what's going on.
No kidding.
And now we're going to clip again. And that's really cool, actually, because you saw, like, we hit the knight and then it bounced back. It seemed like this route, even though it's really cool, was going to be slower until Avuka found a way to get that knight to bounce back. So otherwise, it just kind of, like, flies off and then lands eventually, and that's slow.
Oh, cool.
So TAS is definitely a lot of experimentation with, like, there's got to be a way to make this work.
Here's Cruella again. We're throwing more fruit at her.
This time she hates pumpkins.
Wait, is a pumpkin a fruit or a vegetable? Or we're just gonna call it fruit for this?
I looked it up just specifically because of this game, and I did find that it was a fruit.
Really? God, I was today years old
Things
when I
that you
learned that.
learn about when you speedrun games. We actually did a manipulation here to get Cruella in the right spot so that we can hit her through the wall here.
Yeah.
It's generally what's going on.
Okay.
Yeah, that's like the best way of doing it.
Mm-hmm. And then now we're on Spooky Forest, which isn't going to look super different from what you're used to, Kita, but like, just watch the end. It's super cool. It's going to be
spooky.
It's going to be like the thing in Pyramid where we're going to gain a lot of speed.
Oh.
All right.
Oh,
what?
Incredible.
Wait,
I didn't know that you could get that much speed off
It's
of that.
so satisfying.
Oh my gosh.
I usually just hit the wall and I'm like, oh.
Yeah,
you know.
honestly, like that's what happens to me too. Being able to make the task do whatever you want it feels good. It's like, oh wow, this is what I could do if I, actually aimed correctly. Hedge Maze is just a lot of orange void. We actually did a lot of work to like figure out how to get the best RNG for the puzzle that you have to do here. Like, did all of this to find the RNG seed that we needed, and it's like orange void is faster.
Oh jeez.
Yeah, usually you have to do like a sliding block puzzle to get through this, and it's different every single time that you load in. So it can be really, really slow, or it can be pretty fast. It just depends.
It can take anywhere from 9 to 27 turns to finish the puzzle, which is a huge range.
Oh wow.
Here we're gonna get out of bounds with Toast. Toast is very useful.
Toast launch.
I want to be able to buy ToastBot. Like, why hasn't anybody marketed ToastBot?
Yes. I need this.
Right?
That'd be amazing.
Okay, so this is the second to last level. We're already almost at the end. I do want to explain something first before we get into the level, because it's going to go super fast. So what you need to know is you're going to see there's this box that's moving along a track, and then it teleports back to the beginning, and then it moves along the track. And so if you put the puppy in front of the box before it teleports back, it'll actually fling the puppy with all that speed from the teleportation. And so this is what I was talking about, where normally the puppy moves at 2,700 puppy speed units, and with the box it's going to move over 230,000 speed.
Oh,
that's quite fast.
So it's going to look like teleportation.
The extreme zoomies.
Yes. Probably better if your dogs at home do not do zoomies like this. So right here.
Whoa.
What?
Nice. Imagine having the precision to actually jump on that.
Mm-hmm. Now we're at Cruella 4. This is the end of the game. We're at the end of the game, guys.
Oh wow.
The banger.
And so this is gonna be, we get lasers this time, but you can't, we're shooting at Cruella just because it's funny, but you can't hit Cruella with the lasers.
You can hit those with the bark?
You can bark at these, so usually...
Why did I not know that?
They spawn all around. I mean, I didn't even know that until I saw it in a test. They usually spawn all around. This is actually an RNG manipulation to get them to all spawn at the front, because then we can do it without using the laser cannon. This is our cannonless Cruella.
That would be so nice if you could just do that every time.
I know, it would be so cool. Time is going to be when 3 out of 3 comes on screen, so it'll be perfectly timed before the laser runs out. And time. And that's it.
Jeez, that was awesome.
So
that was insane.
Yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. It was so much fun to work on it, and
oh, that is so cool.
Yeah, I just being able to like make things work in tasks is just so satisfying and awesome.
Yeah, like the final closing comment. Lasers are fruit? Who knew? Yep, they are. They are now.
Wait, yes, obviously. 100%. Why did I never think of this before?
Bark robots away and defeat enemies with fruit or with laser fruit. It's fine.
It's fine. It's fine. It's just how it works. That's how the world works, guys.
Totally. Yeah, thank you so much for showing that off. That was just so cool. The amount of effort that you put into it is just so wonderful. Please let people know where can they find you, what you're playing, and I believe you have a connection to Frost Hotels coming up too. You might want to mention.
I'm not in Frost, the upcoming one. I definitely have been in past ones. I showed this one at a past Fatale.
That's true.
event.
Okay, that was the connection. I was like,
Yeah.
I know this. But yeah, no, let everybody know where can they find you, what you're playing, what you're tasking. Well, that you
I'm not
can't
allowed to say what I'm tasking.
That you're not allowed
it's
to
a
say.
secret. But if you follow me on Twitch, then you'll find out, when it's revealed, because I'll definitely be showing it there. Twitch.tv/passeray. And if this game is interesting to you, join the community, because the community is awesome. It's just, it's super welcoming, and also just like I said, this task is the culmination of the community. So, having it all come to this is just, it's awesome.
Nice.
And yeah, thank you for having us.
Of course. And
thank you. It's been fun.
And Peter, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitch, Keita Kennedy, same name everywhere, basically on all socials. I do a lot of PS1 speedruns, so I run this game. I do Spyro. I also do some Sonic as well. So if you're a fan of platformers, then that's what you'll find mainly from me. And thank you, Passeray, for showing the tasks. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you so much for joining me. I know it's kind of early there, but I really appreciate you
I'm
waking
go
up
back
to be here.
Bed.
No, we definitely appreciate you both. That was so cool. And give GG's one more time to Passeray for that fantastic task for 102 Dalmatians, Puppies to the Rescue, all levels. With that, we are officially done with our speed running and chilling for the night. But if you're just getting here and you're like, oh heck, I missed out on the Pokemon special or speedrun special, or you missed out on Express Lane, we got you. All you have to do is stay here. No zoomies, no extreme zoomies. Stay right here. And we're just going to replay both shows for you after this. Also, tune in tomorrow starting at 7 p.m. Eastern for both Crosshair and Speedruns from the Crypt. So until next time, I'm Oscar424, and I'll see you in the Express Lane.